Hello everyone, happy Sunday and welcome to week 9 of the GeoGuessr World League. I'm Toby, I'm joined by Siggy, and right out of the gate, Siggy, it's Sunday, we're vibing, we're chilling. I got my hoodie on, you got your sweater on. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, quite a cold morning here in Germany, at least -2 degrees. It's covered in, mist to play GeoGuessr, and the matches are pretty insane today. Very even matchups.
It's going to be great, no doubt about it. It's going to be a fun. And now we've never been here before. We have something for you, because let's go over the format, see how the game works, how everything functions. I'll take this one, you take the next one, Siggy. So how does the game work? Pretty straightforward, really. You get thrown down on Google Street View somewhere in the world, and then it's up to you to pinpoint exactly where you are, or get as close to the exact location as you possibly can. And then, based on your distance to the actual location, you are rewarded points, and then you do damage to your opponents based on who is closer and further away from the location. So pretty straightforward. Get plonked down on the planet, find out where you are, and get a lot of points for guessing correctly. Over to how the game modes function, though. Siggy, I'll let you do this one.
Yeah, the first mode is probably always the easiest. Moving. It basically means that the players can do whatever they want, just move around. They can beat a car, pretty much drive around. The only restriction being the 1-minute time limit that is in place for every mode. Then we go over to the no moving mode, which is basically a single 360 panorama image from Google Street View. The players can look around, look at every clue they can, and then make an educated guess, in the best case. And if that isn't enough, we go over to the mode of modes, no move, panning, or zooming. Dare I say the best mode there is. Basically just a still image, just a single photo, and the players usually get it right. Sometimes they get it wrong, but then it's because the location is fake. Let's be honest.
That's normally the format where chaos comes in, and even some of the best in the world can get bamboozled. But yep, here you see them, the game mode. Of course, you said there are some rules in play as well. As you said, there's 1 minute, and then we have a scoreboard system as well. All these matchups are in best of 3s. So we start and move, then we're going to no move, and if it's a tie, 1-1, then we go into NMPC, or no move, no pan, no zoom. And as you can see here, if it's a 2-1 win to one team, then in this case, the blue team receives 2 points for winning, red team receives 1 point for losing. If it's then it's point gets no point. What are the all into league? We have league B into the score. We've through a third of it. And I have a guess to announce the departure of risk multiple rules. The result is game will be war players we play against. They'll get the too surprised.
I think after the World League, only say those really top notch, and if none of these don't win the World Cup, it would be, you know, it's just maybe nerfs in the tournament, but in every other aspect, these three guys are the best they are. Like,
Exactly. So this is the leaderboard as it stands right now, and let's now take a look at the matches that we are gonna be watching today. Of the Eman, the OCE matchup down south under, I guess we can say, and second up will be Blinky versus Spaghet, a good matchup coming up too. And here you can see them, all the matches that are going to be played out through the day. Are there any matchups in particular, Siggy, that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm looking forward especially to the first two main games that are Eman versus Lero and Trickster versus Sheena, just because I think they are very even and also similar in playstyle. And I think they're also in similar positions. So especially Eman against Lero, they have a very similar win rate. And them both being from the APAC region makes it a bit more spicy as well. Because, you know, they're kind of competing against each other as well to get to the regionals. So you have to put that into account as well. And I definitely look forward to it. I mean, looking forward is a stretch because it's starting right now, so I don't even have to wait.
Yeah, exactly. We're right around the corner. As you can see there's a lot of games taking place that we aren't broadcasting as well. I believe that from time to time other Twitch platforms have been broadcasting some of those games too, so look into it for yourself if there are any of those games in particular that you want to see. Maybe they're being broadcasted for into matchup number. It's an exciting one. It's New Zealand versus Australia. Eman versus Lero. Now talk Eman.
Eman, very strong player from New Zealand. The only one from New Zealand that qualified for this World League. And an extremely strong player, especially last week. We saw him play again. No, 2 weeks ago we saw him against Sig. He put up quite probably yet now. But the two strongest behind him are pretty much Eman and Lero. Just looking at the win rate, at the points, they will definitely end up in those second and third spots in the APAC region. And as you can see, this looks quite similar. The only big difference being the time, really.
And that's the thing, right? I mean, the fact that he's all 10 seconds on average. Maybe he can put some pressure on. We've seen it before when you have one player, like you're guessing, it can force opponents in some weird situation. So we'll at or like a factor here or not. We can see that 20th and 25th fooled by that because it's literally 2 points in between them. So this leaderboard still is, I mean, insanely close. And you know what? Let's get into game number one. It's moving. There's no multipliers at it right now, and it seems like we're starting in the Philippines.
Yeah, Urban Philippines, always a delight to see in a moving game, just because you will definitely find an address on every single shop. They really like to put their address out there. I don't know why they do it, but
for us,
we won't complain as GeoGuessr players.
Siggy, they do it for us. Any 5Ks in the making, any early game lineups for Lero here. We'll see who's going to get the closer look. No, both of them.
7 points.
What a start. What a beginning to what will no doubt the damage has increased. I was gonna say, I mean, that's incredible, and that's what you were saying. We've seen it in tournaments in the past as well. I mean, biggest memory of this is MK doing it in the World Cup last year. Lero is really putting pressure on. He is, as you say, pretty much forcing this moving game to become kind of a pseudo no-move game with how fast he's guessing. Now, in this particular round, he's taking his time a bit more, but look to see that happen quite often.
The no-move panorama, there is information. It says R58, which will be the road number in South Africa. They're usually written on fences, but Lero also finds the sign, so he can technically you know, also find it. But it seems like Eman because the east, which is on Lero side, so you can combine those two screens. Found it.
I like to think that we can give a couple of advice. Oh, nice guesses coming in there as well. 3 kilometers off, but again, both of them close, so not really a whole lot of damage being done. When you have a green sign with yellow text on, like that, it's pretty much 100% guaranteed South Africa, right?
I'm just gonna say yes, but...
We say yes, and then if we're wrong, chat, correct us. It's always dangerous to have Toby in this. All it has to do is trying to defend how I'm saying everything incorrect all the time.
Yeah, maybe wouldn't be the way I would word it, but there's enough.
That's the way, you know, that's the way I'm gonna word it. Don't come for Siggy, come for me if you have any quarrels with how I go about this. We're once again close to target, as Greece is the location to start off. Finally, Eman able to strike back a bit here. Still, of course, coming into round 5 now. 3 times multiplier in play. Let's see what we get here.
Yeah, moving game. One's lost on Eman's side. Matter in very comebackable.
Comebackable? Is that a word now?
Comebackable? Yeah. Sure.
I like it. I like it a lot. What are we working with here? Tell me what you see and what meta knowledge can be put into use to pinpoint country and...
The easiest here is that we have black dots on the license plates, which is a thing in Argentina. And now the hard part is figuring out where in Argentina you are, because urban Argentina is known for not having a lot of clues. Funnily enough, being in a rural location in Argentina is easier just because you have more landscape and usually you have the road markers as well. So, believe.
Showed the players are taking their due time. I mean, you know what? Argentina could learn something from Philippines. Just put more addresses on your store windows. That'd be something. But time's up all the way to the end. Eman, a quick change there in the last second, but Lero is going to be closer once again. And this time around, it's going to be big damage. Oh, wow! Down to just 88 Eman. Barely alive.
Yeah, seems like they both had some kind of information or written text while they have the black tears, by the way. That's something, and seems like Lero had a better one, or maybe made more of it. Don't really know, but this round is tough for Eman because he can only lose and not win. This car is in.
Oh, he's close up. He stays alive. But what does Eman need here realistically? Does he need a massive country to hopefully get a good guess in? I mean, obviously, he needs Lero to make a big mistake. But how does he turn this one around?
Yeah, you already mentioned the important part. Eman needs the opponent to make a mistake first because before he can make a good guess. You know, both have to come in place at the same time pretty much. And it doesn't really happen that often with players of this caliber. So it will be very hard for him. We're going to be in Colombia here, which is not what you want to see. Relatively medium-sized country, but I don't think there will be any information for anyone in any direction here. It just seems like the type of round you won't find a sign on. So just comes down to vibes here, really.
Let's see. Eman, you can't be wrong here. I mean, even if you're 5 meters off, 88 points is going to be enough for you to be taken down. Lero, first one to get the guess in, once again playing with less pressure, obviously, than Eman does. You know it's Colombia, but where are we going? He's going down towards the very southern border, down towards Ecuador. This is a big one. 16 kilometers off. Again, as you say, not massive damage, but in the grand total, 2 of those rounds, and you win.
And he could have won there. If Lero goes just that middle near Bogota, he would have lost the game on the spot. So,
wow.
Very impressive guess by Eman there. Not an easy one. Now we move over to the Philippines again.
That's where we
have a bollard with kilometers on it. I'm not sure if that is correct, though. 930 would mean that we are 930 kilometers from Manila. So we would be very far south.
Get your ruler out. Do the math here. Again, Eman
Lero found a very good sign. This could say the province for him, and if he knows it, this could be massive for him.
Could be game.
It seems like...
Doesn't have map open yet.
Yeah, seems like he couldn't read it properly, or just didn't know what it is. And meanwhile, Eman is just lining up a road out of nowhere. I don't know what he saw.
Let's see, 15 seconds left to play. Now, we are aware that there are some buffering issues taking place right now, so do bear with us. We're trying to get it fixed as we speak. Don't want to let any of these guys not get the respect they're due, of course, with how they're playing right now. This is a very, very close matchup. Time down to 1. Let's it run all the way to the finish. Let's see who's gonna get it. It's gonna be Lero, and finally able to bring it home, but valiant effort from Eman in trying to stay alive through this one. 88 points. He was alive for a bit there, but finally taken down, Siggy.
Yeah, a bit of an overkill there by Lero. He only had 80 HP to deal, and he did like 7k, so calm down on that, on that end. But yeah, very well played by him, basically only making a single mistake in Colombia. I mean, I say mistake, but he wasn't really that far off. It was just a very good guess by Eman.
Let's see. Concrete, pavement, fields. I like to think this is... Oh, I hate it when I try to guess. I was going to say Thailand. Is it correct?
Yeah.
And I feel like I said it right before Eman zoomed properly in. I was like, is it Thailand or is it Philippines? I can never quite remember what concrete pavement is. Usually Thailand, right?
Both. Pretty much the same, but we have rubber trees or rubber tree plantations here, which are very common in Thailand. I don't think you really get it in Philippines ever. So, yeah.
There you go.
And it's very flat as well, so...
True. Well, Thailand plonk comes in from Lero, trying to get the pace up early on. Out for him, but Eman, with those 15... gets the better of the location a bit further up towards. So good on Eman to not get too baited, I suppose, or stressed out by Lero trying to put pressure on early.
Yeah, I mean, you have to stay calm. You definitely have to handle people insta-guessing on you over and over, because that's what some players do all the time. Just off. Against some people it works, against some people it doesn't. It seems like Eman can handle.
Now we are, of course, playing no move, meaning these guys can spin around all they want, zoom in and out as much as they want, but they cannot move out of this spot on the... This is all here, mountains in the distance. Towards Turkey. Seems like they're both working their way towards Turkey here.
Yeah, the metal pole looks very Turkish, but... Oh, we also have a water tank, so it definitely should be Turkey. It's very common in the southern coast region.
Okay.
So something like Antalya or Adana was my thought, but it looks very hard to guess.
Distance in between towards Izmir. We'll see who's gonna get the upper hand in this one. Of course, it's only round 2, so no big damage will come through. Especially when it's right in between them. I mean, you had it right there. South coast is where it was. And Eman taking a bit more damage to tie things up.
Yeah, South Coast, and I said Antalya, I said Adana, and it's right in the middle.
There you go.
But you have to know the water tank really to get them, to get the location there. Maybe they learned now.
They'll never forget.
True.
Because there's not a lot of things that they have to be with, obviously, when playing this game. I mean, the amount of information that a professional GeoGuessr player has to process is absurd to me. I feel like you have to be like a special breed, a special type of intelligent person in order to be able to really maneuver these games. It's really incredible.
Yeah, you definitely have to be able to learn something after seeing a single thing at one time.
Exactly.
And so when I see other people like practicing, like big streamers trying to play GeoGuessr, I'm like, come on, bro, you just saw this. Like, that can't be that hard to remember stuff. And then I'm like, hey, maybe it's just like
it is. Things
are hard to remember. And then I forget like what the birthday of my brother is. So like in real life,
you replace your of meta knowledge more important than knowing what to go shopping for tomorrow. Here we go. Once again, they're close to one another and both somewhat equal distance to target. 100 damage over towards Eman, but once again a round where they let the clock run almost all the way out. So was there anything tricky in that round in particular?
I don't know if it's really tricky. I think they were just making... They don't want to make a mistake on something like Indonesia when you have polls available, because they are very helpful. So they're just going to make sure that they're correct, you know?
A dirt road, a cliff. This could be, I mean...
I think this is the US, though. Road
Still.
He went Argentina, actually. But in the US.
I'm gonna
the US.
Go Japan. Can't tell.
I mean, no.
What?
I'm wrong.
You don't. By miles to the trigger location. Oh, wow.
Well, I would have been closer.
But a tough round nonetheless. I mean, this might as well have been an NPC round, because even if they were spinning around, there wasn't really a whole lot to make sense of in that round. But we're back to concrete roads once more.
Yeah.
Thailand
Back in Thailand.
Today. Oh, today so far.
And it looks like the east part again, because the soil is slightly red. Real and true meta.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so when you say real and true meta, does that mean that all true?
But there's like a 10% education, you know, and it's west.
Fair.
So that locations have been AI generated by GeoGuessr just
true.
Us.
Yeah, true. All the trees are not in fact the color, but here it was correct. Exactly the same distance. Look, I mean, they're playing shoulder to shoulder right now. A great tie here, as no points come through, but what we do get from it is the increase of the damage multiplier as we head into round number 6.
Yeah, but we also got
I like it.
good sport there. Well, maybe they're going to be happy about this round, maybe not, because we're going to be in Japan, and usually in Japan you want to take a good look at the pull plates, but I don't really saw them, and maybe they did. But I definitely like the northern guess.
It's not a good angle. Not a good angle. If we could just move a bit down. I'm saying when better angle on it. We have one all the way up towards Hokkaido up in the north.
It almost looks like Hokkaido, but the plate looks like it's vertical instead of... No, it's horizontal instead of vertical. I always mix up horizontal and vertical. Am I the only person? I never which one means which.
Vertical is up, horizontal. You can think of the horizon, you know? Horizon is flat.
True.
Horizontal, horizon, flat. One down towards Tokyo, all the way up Hokkaido. We'll see who's going to come out with it. It's 3.5 times multiplier. It's even further north than that. So a lot of damage come through, and it... Oh, no, once again, Eman! Staying alive. Last time round it was 88, now it's 190, but he is in trouble.
Yeah, this time, you know, a bit more comeback potential, especially because we're spawning in New Zealand here, which, you know...
Oh, imagine. Imagine if he gets this one at home.
And he had a crazy guess against Zigzag, winning again against him on New Zealand.
Up roads already.
Yeah, we have a smudge on the camera, which is only the Highway 35 pretty much. And you driving east and northish basically puts you in that region, so he definitely knows.
So even with the 5k damage might be minimal, is what you're saying. Because they're both in and around the right area.
I mean, Lero doesn't have a clue where this is, but he has a good enough region guess to not lose. So it definitely won't end the game here, but this should be big points for Eman.
Just give him a 5k, you know what? He deserves it.
Why not?
Let's see. Nope, further north, but at least closer. Most importantly, able to swing back, and again, big damage come through here as we are late in this game. 4 times multiplier is gonna set Lero down to 3,000, but Eman still the sliver of left knee gonna be.
And what a round to get. What? Won't they
on Germany? I'm just saying countries at this.
Yeah, here.
Point.
The thing is, he's not even.
Left, Eman with the game on the line. And that's gonna be down 0. It back, but it just was not enough.
Yeah, it has fish like towards the coast, but hey, I'm sitting here in my chair, not having to do anything.
very last. Great game. And yeah, I mean, any particular look this was different.
No, I don't think I want to go back on the rounds. I think I want to talk about the standings that mean that Lero just passed Eman in points. We said, oh, they're so far apart from literally from like 25th to like 18th. So you can jump 7 places in a single match. That's how close it is. And all these players are working towards one goal, and that is making the cutoff at 12th place. So these jumps are massive right now, and you kind of want to lay off because you're kind of hitting the halfway point where you can almost make an image. Okay, this person's gonna make it, this person's not gonna make it. So yeah.
And now we are having some technical issues, as you guys probably have realized at this point. So we will go to a short break while our admins and people behind the scenes are looking into getting everything solved. We want you guys to have a great show. So we'll break and then we'll be right back. Thanks, GeoGuessr, for letting me become part of your world so quickly, and that I got a chance to see Blinky lift the trophy after that insane grand final. It was an experience I'll never forget. So now, with 2025 right around the corner, I have an idea.
Now, don't get me wrong, I love Sweden. We've already had the World Cup there twice. GeoGuessr 2025 World Cup. Denmark. So to all you GeoGuessr fans out there, let me show you what Copenhagen has to offer. Fancy architecture. Easy to recognize signs. We have historic buildings. Red roads. A royal family. World-class dining. A super cool theme parks. We got the best beer in the world. Presumably. So, when you're done exploring the city, when you've tasted all the varieties of smørrebrød and you've found out the true meaning of hygge, we'll meet here.
Where Winston Churchill laid the foundation of what would become the European Union.
Long live the cause of freedom.
Where big-time artists like Rolling Stones, Louis Armstrong and the Beatles have performed.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I welcome you to Copenhagen and the KB Hall, the venue of the 2025 GeoGuessr World Cup Finals. Oh, and there will be a bar.
There we go. We're back. Fingers crossed that issues have been fully resolved and we are ready to get on with the show because we have a lot more GeoGuessr matches coming today. And in case you want more than what we have to offer today, later today, there will be even more. Twice the amount of GeoGuessr that you're expecting to see right now is what you're going to be getting here later on in the evening as well. So a lot of GeoGuessr coming your way today as we now, Siggy, going into the next matchup. Talk to me a bit about these two guys.
Yeah, Spaghet definitely has a difficult task at hand. He is playing Blinky, and so far the only person to take down Blinky is Radu C. And I don't think Spaghet is quite on the level yet to beat Blinky.
Yeah.
Anything can happen, GeoGuessr, but Blinky is just putting out consistency and incredible guesses, so it's going to be very hard. We see 88% win rate. Precision also pretty high. We just saw Eman and Lero being at 50, 54. So... yeah,
insane.
that 66 is pretty insane, as we see. The numbers are very in favor of Blinky.
I mean, he's the reigning world champion. I like to think he should have a small medal next to his name there as well. He is currently our world champion. And one of the things that I will say has me the most worried for Spaghet, who's currently sat down in 33rd, is his time to guess. Not that Blinky is like an insanely fast player, but I still like to think that once he gets a good hunch on the location, which, I mean, oftentimes he does, he'll be pretty quick about his guessing. And I've seen in the past that Spaghet gets, I don't want to say thrown off, but at least it seems to get more stressed when the opponents are quicker on their guesses.
Yeah, usually it's pretty bad to give Blinky time, so it's going to be hard for Spaghet. Kind of...
Okay. Okay, we're barely even got through intro of the game and they're already there.
Hey, I didn't even see what happened. They just line up a road and... Okay, why not?
I mean, guys, it's moving, you know? Chill. Spaghet, you can't just go out here and do everything opposite of what we just said. But nope, this is game 1, round 2 already, as we're into this one. Reigning world champion Blinky versus Spaghet as we take our trip to Bali.
Yeah, we have the Bali blue sticker, so pretty easy for both players.
Spaghet, I mean, he has a plan in mind, it seems. Back-to-back rounds against Blinky now, trying to get off to a good start here.
Yeah, you know, you don't have to take your time if the round is easy, pretty much. You could count on Blinky making a mistake. Probably won't happen, but if he does, you have to be there. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's see if these were the only 2 mistakes that Blinky makes. And by mistake, I mean not being 5 meters next to the target, because that's sometimes what it takes. We'll see if Spaghet can keep up the pace, as they're both zooming around the map as fast as they possibly can to try and see what info is available.
Yeah, but this looks very bad for Spaghet. He hit a dead end, and Blinky found out of the neighborhood pretty quick. This is probably what moving experience really does, because you figure out how you get out of these like cul-de-sac areas faster than your opponent, and it's going to be a big advantage.
Definitely. I feel like that's also one of the things that players tend to get really good at, understanding kind of the layout of urban areas and saying, okay, there's a bigger road over there. This is how I maneuver my way out. But, oh, Spaghet able to find himself a bus sign and instantly locks in on camera.
Yeah, maybe he knows the camera bus sign. If so, this is massive damage we're talking about.
We'll see. We'll see. Time is up. Goes all the way down to the end, and it is correct. 9 kilometers off. Completely untouched so far, as Spaghet takes Blinky down to under half health.
I mean, beating Blinky in the moving game is one thing, but flawlessing Blinky in the moving game would be a different feat.
Imagine.
But so far he has been on point. So... And it says Indiana on this bus. Do you trust it?
Do you trust it? It's a pretty big bus.
I don't think it does look like Indiana, though. We have like a palm there.
Remember, guys, when semi says something, remember cars can move. And semi-trucks tend to move even further. So don't get too baited, as we now see Blinky going Alaska. Quickly on it, too.
Okay. I mean, I don't think it's Alaska. Blinky will lose the game. It says Oregon.
Spaghet saw an Oregon sign. Is this going to be a flawless against Blinky?
I'm so confused. What is Blinky doing?
He said GG.
He said GG. He knows.
He realized, too, this is GG. Blinky. What happened? And Spaghet, I mean, all we do is talk hype about how Blinky is the world champ. You can see the face palm. Spaghet just flawless the world champion. And no doubt the best moving player in the world as well. What?
I don't know what to say. Did I just jinx Blinky? I don't know what happened. And if somebody in the chat bet on their points on Spaghet, their dream might come true
I
because
mean, that's the
think
same
the odds
as
were
buying
hacked.
Bitcoin in 2005. I mean, bro.
True.
Spaghet. I don't even know if Bitcoin's worth a thing back then. Doesn't really matter right now either, because we are on the Spaghet train. Can we get some Japanese hype going in the chat? As we now get game number 2 started, we're into no move. And seems like Hungary is the play for both of them. But, well, where are we?
Somewhere. I would just
That's
click middle.
usually the case, true. We are oftentimes somewhere.
Well, we
I
have
need
a
a
big
sip of
highway
water, that was-
interchange. So maybe Blinky can do something, but doesn't really look like you could find this pretty quickly.
Still can't wrap my head around that previous round. That was absolutely insane. But finally, now Blinky, the first round 1 in this game. As still a little bit of head scratching, probably still confused about what happened in that moving game in the previous one. But now full mental reset. There's still a game to be played, and there's still a game that can be won if you win this no move and then take it into an NPC.
Yeah, I just watched back the chat from the moment Blinky sent Alaska, and people were so confused. People were saying, what?
I mean, and he was fast about it too. He pretty much flicked up to anchorage and just locked it in. And then once he did, you could see in his face, he was like, wait a minute.
Oh, but he will definitely be closer because this is definitely not Philippines. This should be
And what's the tell? Is
Malaysia.
it the antenna?
I think just the poles. You wouldn't get poles like this in Philippines. I don't know. And usually the car's silver in Philippines instead of white.
Well, Spaghet still has 18 seconds. Make that 15 to second guess himself on this decision. Kuching is where Blinky is headed. It's only round 2, but could be some pretty decent sized damage going here.
But Spaghet could be lucky if it's Saba. They could be equidistant even though he's in
Yeah.
the wrong country. So
Could be right
he
in
can bank
between.
on that maybe.
Could be right in between them, and it kind of will be. I mean, could have been much, much worse than what it ends up being. So I guess, I mean, yes, you lose 2,000 health, but if you're Spaghet right now, you're kind of saying your praises that this wasn't one of those out of nowhere Blinky 5Ks, because that would have been GG.
That would have been GG again. And maybe, you know, maybe he's nervous now because he's like, wait, I'm beating Blinky. I'm beating Blinky. No way.
This was not part of my plan. I'm winning? Wait, what? Yeah, true. Are we going flawless into reverse flawless? It could just be. And what do we got to work with here, Siggy?
Well, we have an urban environment. This should be Peru or Bolivia. Looks like, I don't know. Just like the
going
border
through the
area in
app,
general. Just the amount of mud brick houses in the distance makes me think down there.
A lot of info on those signs, but small fonts and blurry images makes it hard to really tell exactly what it says. Let's see, Spaghet 1 second to readjust. He's going to sit just a bit further north of where Blinky is, and it's going to be a bit further south too, so Blinky maintaining his 6K, his flawless game thus far.
Yeah, I said Peru or Bolivia, and it's quite literally on the border there, the border city.
It's so interesting in rounds where even when Blinky is winning, you can see that, oh, I could have been closer. You know, there's always the pursuit of perfection in his eyes whenever he plays these games. And it makes sense that you want a full mental reset after what we saw in the moving game.
Yeah, I think Blinky is the person who likes to maybe scan grids in cities, but in Peru it's not really possible because it's very irregular in the cities. So he's like, maybe I could have found that. Maybe. You know, he likes being perfect. Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? Well,
Stran, on the other hand, does not look perfect for a region guess because I don't even want to say my thoughts here.
give me a country.
I mean, Brazil as a country, yes. I don't know if this is Paraná, Sao Paulo, something in that region.
Well, Spaghet's going down towards Sao Paulo, further south than that. Seems like they're both in and around the same area once again, which again makes sense, of course, because they're both kind of bred out of the same school of GeoGuessr thinking. But on each their side of Sao Paulo, this could be pretty decent-sized points had it not been because they are practically the exact same distance from the location. But I guess most importantly for Blinky is that he wants to get that reverse flawless, and right now, well, it's going his way.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Both of them not going Sao Paulo, even though Sao Paulo probably the most common to have round poles in Brazil, but it didn't really quite look like it, I have to agree. So...
Insta Kazakhstan, insta login from Spaghet as well. Zoomed out a bit to try and readjust, but liked his initial hunch towards October, and seems like Blinky is going the exact same place.
yeah, Let's hope Blinky
no
stays.
clinching, maybe?
Does he overphone? No.
Oh, the zoom in, but no click to follow. As he should have been further towards the east. Would have given him maybe a little bit more. As once again, minimal damage. But finally, there's a dent in the scoreline for Blinky.
Yeah, no reverse, flawless from him. Spaghet takes his honor if he loses this game.
But yeah, he can lose now. But did you flawless me? No. So at least he'll have that going for him. But still, a tough battle ahead of him. Down by half the health to Blinky as we make over here into round 6.
Yeah, it has to be said, Blinky only lost a single moving game so far, and it was against RC. So today was the second one.
Yeah.
Consus also lost his first moving game last week, so both of them losing that perfect moving streak. But it was still insane. Winning 15 moving games in a row, especially when people say that it's a random mode because you go one way and there's a sign, and don't give me that. It's not a random mode.
No.
You quite literally see it.
Very skill dependent, as seems like both these guys taking their time trying to figure out exactly what they've got to work with. Southside Argentina, or I guess central Argentina, is where Blinky is looking. Spaghet is a bit further north, but maybe now looking to readjust.
Yeah, I think it's a bit more south. He's very far north in Cordoba there.
Are we talking game here? It could very well be.
We are definitely talking game here. Definitely.
Let's see how far south are we. Blinky is on point. Blinky is almost 5k territory, and that is going to be game. A big 10k damage done towards Spaghet. Will tie things up at 1-1 as we now head into the dreaded NMPC. Now, I want to give Blinky all the benefit of the doubt, despite the fact that he lost out on moving. But an NPC, man, it's anyone's terrain.
Yeah, that was more the Blinky I know. Just, lining up the grid in Argentina and 5K'ing it. But NMPC, he should also be favored, not only because he is in general the better player, but he's also pretty good at NPC. Funnily enough, it says börek, which is a Turkish dish. Very yummy, by the way. It's like cheese-filled pastry.
Oh,
pretty
you're
nice.
getting me hungry now.
Go for one. Can't lie.
Both of them getting the guesses in quickly. Spaghet victorious here in round number 1. Not too much damage in it. Obviously, as every single time we go into a new game, the multipliers get reset as well, which makes perfect sense. If not, then we get out of hand very quickly. As we now go here into round number 2. Single yellow line, a sign there to work with as well. Both of them going, Rio initially. Okay.
Yeah, it's a double yellow line, actually. It's just a faded one next to it.
Oh, I can't see it. Yeah, there you go. I see it now.
Yeah, should be Brazil. I don't know how south this is. Rio makes sense. I hope it's not all the way in Santa Catarina, though. But it looks more northern. It is the Rio.
It is down towards Rio. I mean, Spaghet started all the way in the city proper. Should have committed to it, but up to go a bit further north out of it, and therefore losing on this one. But things, tying up pretty much exactly just 5 points apart. As we now go into round number 3. And what do we have to work with here? Single blue sign up there on the hillside. But what else are you looking at?
Well, I'm trying to see that sign and what it says, because I'm pretty sure it just gives away the country here.
Ooh. Well, I mean, if the country is America, then it's like GG, thanks for info, I guess.
I mean, why does it look like it has like 2 languages on it, the sign? It says like something twice.
I have 4 pixels to work with, my man. I cannot tell you what that sign says.
I don't know. It looks like it says Radu C, but
oh, that's what it is. Did you set up your home theater for casting? Is that what you got now? Is that why you can all of a sudden see everything?
Yeah, the thing is, I have no clue what this is. I don't even know if it's Canada or US. I thought Canada first, but I don't know if the car has a front plate. And even if it's Canada, I don't know if it's Ontario or Alberta.
I mean, so could be a lot of distance in between the locations we're working with here, but
will be something.
We have initially East Coast, West Coast guessing. This is an NPC. This is what it can do to you. We'll see who's going to get the benefit of it. It is going to be Spaghet getting it all the way up towards Edmonton, and that's game. Blinky loses it. 2-1 Spaghet.
The Blinky reign is over after his first loss last week. The second loss, and in what a fashion. 2 games which were pretty well played by Spaghet. Obviously, Blinky making 2 big blunders there with the Alaska guess and now with the US guess. So maybe North America practice has to be in place. But yeah, very well played by Spaghet. Maybe I played him down too much because, what a game.
I'm mind blown. I'm jaw dropped. You know what? I owe Spaghet a massive apology. We were hyping up Blinky. We were talking about how easy, how much of a walkover game this was gonna be. But hell no, Spaghet was in it to win it, and he comes out victorious against the reigning world champ, and he looked cool doing it all the way through. Even when Blinky takes no move, he strikes right back. That 2-1. Bamboozling Spaghet. You know what? That was incredible. Hopefully, that's going to be the momentum for him to skyrocket up the leaderboard, because he was sat in 33rd coming into that game. When you take down the current second place, you keep going. That's insane.
Yeah, Blinky had a chance to jump to first place there because Radu was only a single point above him. Now they're basically tied at first place. Same points, same games played as well. So very close between those two. Also 3 more results. We have 3 more 2-0s. Trichter winning, Harrier winning, and Sheena winning. No surprises.
Japan is coming out swinging today. I guess Anu, the only one that didn't quite manage to bring it home, would have been looking real good if we had 3 Japanese player victories in one set of games. But with the 12 o'clock games done for one, oh my lord, what a set of games they were, we are going to head into the next set of matches. But before that, we have a little video lined up for you now. The World Cup is right around the corner, and if you haven't been there to witness the previous ones, then please take a look at this video and see the hype that you could be in for when the World Cup hits you in the end of August.
Here's where it comes down to. Oh my god, no. I think Consus might be closer. Just by a hair.
Look, he's going Finland as well. Is it come down this?
It's locked in.
Consus! Is he the winner?
Did he get it? Consus 748 damage, and he will win.
In a foreign country where he's not comfortable, like he knows it, headphones are coming off. It looks like we've got a new champion, Nobel laureate, the one who has unearthed the GeoGuessr World Cup Championship of 2024.
And here you can see it's already been announced. The World Cup this year will be in Copenhagen, and it's on August 29th and 30th. You can get your tickets now over at geoguessr.com/World Cup. And to add to it, in order to increase the prize pool, GeoGuessr has opted to do all of their Twitch subscriptions. They will be contributed to the prize pool. Excuse me. So if you go in and you subscribe on Twitch, all those money will be added directly to the prize pools. If you want to see that ramped up, go on over and drop a little sub for the community to grow ever so much larger. I feel like, Siggy, I mean, with every single year, GeoGuessr is just on a trajectory that's like, if you can get the stonks in now, you get them, and maybe it's too late already, because it's getting pretty hype, this.
Yeah, I mean, especially this step between like 2 years ago and 1 year ago was massive. I mean, the 1 year in Stockholm was basically just a very small arena. The second one being like one of the most famous building in Stockholm, and I was like, okay, how did they pull that off? That is pretty insane, I have to say. I was very impressed by the location. Now, Copenhagen, I've never been in that arena, so I don't know how that will be, but it definitely will be a great event regardless, just because of the people and the game. So yeah, definitely be sure to come.
I went to a BB King concert there when I was 14, and it was honestly one of the best concerts I've ever attended. So, you know what? If that venue can bring us the same thing for the GeoGuessr World Cup, then I am all for it. Now we are going to go into the next set of games. Don't want to leave you waiting any longer. We have got Trichter, it's all the sounds, playing in this one, and I know that that's the guy that you want to talk to me a bit about, Siggy. Go for it.
Yeah, we have Trichter. Trichter 33 versus Sheena. Yeah, I also said this will be a very close matchup. I just looked a bit into the game from Sheena. He played a very great game against Clement, winning on Japan on a very high multiplier, actually. And you said Japan is on a roll today. We have Spaghet, we had Sheena, both winning their games. And this will be a much harder game for Sheena, I imagine. Because I think Trichter will put up a fight in the moving game. I think against Clement he had the upper hand in moving, but Trichter will not go down without a fight in that moving mode.
Seeing they've both increased in their leaderboard positions off of their previous match wins. Actually, the only two, no, never mind, Spaghet went up as well, but two players that went up after their wins in the previous one. 12 placements between them, but just 6 points. between the two. So a very important match. Both try and make their way further up the leaderboard as we get into game number 1. Round number 1. It's moving. And where are we located here, Siggy?
Well, the good part is they can move around and show me a bit more information, because right now
I didn't want to go for the insta guess. Fair enough.
I don't want to say anything wrong. I mean, this looks like a...
You reach a point when you're me, like where you just commit to it, you know. All of a sudden,
is that a Croatia poll? I'm just gonna say it's a Croatia poll, but I can't read anything else.
I like it. Get those guesses in. That, you know, that's one of the things that are the most unique. I had the pleasure of attending the World Cup in 2024 up in Stockholm, and one of the things that stands out to me is very unique in GeoGuessr compared to other esports that I've worked in, is that whenever there's a hype moment, you know, whenever there's a final round or something going on, in other games, everyone is quiet. You know, everyone is watching for the 1v3 clutch or whatever. But in GeoGuessr, as soon as a round starts, the entire arena just goes, because everyone's starting to play along. Everyone is kind of playing the game while watching. As we see Trish to take game number 1 here. Good win on that one. I love it, though. I love that everyone is kind of playing while watching the games as well. It's very unique to GeoGuessr, and I think it's amazing.
Yeah, especially in the smaller events leading up to it, like 2 years ago, the World Cup, you could definitely see when a Turkey round came up, everyone was looking at the Lotus in the room, and it was kind of funny. Like, stuff like that happened. Obviously, with a big arena, it's going to be hard to find the people, but they're definitely going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of info to be had early on. And here we go again. Green sign, yellow text, Insta. Send it to South Africa.
Real and true, but you probably should Insta send the 5K here, because why not?
Ooh. I mean, Sheena hasn't even moved yet. But he's lining up the road.
He doesn't need to move. I mean, he had the information at the start, so...
Yeah, I suppose.
It looks like he's confident.
10Kers? Any 10Kers in the chat?
I don't think Trisha has found the road yet. This would be big points.
He doesn't have it. He does not have it. Sheena does, though. 400 meters off. Didn't want to give us the 10K. Come on, Sheena, my man. Come on, Sheena. We were waiting for it. We were ready for it. But goes to show once again that Japan is on fire today. Sheena off to a great start already, with Trista down to 3,300 health.
Yeah, and Trista very annoyed at that round, shaking his head. He knows having a sign at spawn in South Africa should result in a 5K every single time if you're on a road that big.
I feel like this is a rare big city location. I don't feel like the seats that we get, like the locations take us into, if not capital cities, then really big ones.
Yeah, and usually these capital cities can be pretty hard for GeoGuessr players, just because more casual players will just be, yeah, this is just this city. Especially when it's the US, they'll be like, yeah, that is just Washington, D.C. And I'm like, I have no clue what Washington, D.C. looks like, unless it says
I've heard
Washington,
there's a
D.C.
building that's wide.
True.
Yeah.
True.
But seems like
this
Buenos Aires is the
Buenos
play
Aires.
Do you go for the 10K or do you not, or the 5K or not care to find it? You got 13 seconds. Might as well make some fun of it, Trishta.
Yeah, there's not that many roads that line up. I really like the road he's on right now. Seems like some kind of canal next to us, but I'm not sure.
There's a park. Running side by side with the rope. We'll see how close he's going to get. Sheena kind of just threw it in there, but he is riding around the right area. But just a bit off on the other side, but importantly, able to get some points while it only being 18 at that.
Yeah, players like this would not miss a capital location just because having a city with skyscrapers in Argentina, pretty much only Buenos.
Here we are, out in the open. Trucks galore as we make our way through the fields. Got a gas station with a lot of info on there as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure the gas station will help you really. What you really want to look out for is the bins here in Turkey, which will be in just by the pavement and overall houses. There is a bin. Oh, Trichter skipped it. Unlucky. That could have had information on it. Maybe Sheena will look at it.
So what info are you going for on the bins? Is it regional info? Is it the... I know that there is a thing with Turkey and trash cans. I just haven't gotten through to get learning that meta yet because my sheet of things I need to learn in this game is massive. But what's the exact intel you get off the bins?
It says the city, like the district name, and there's like 900 of them. But if you're lucky, it says a big city like Ankara, Büyükşehir Belediyesi.
Fair enough.
And that will be easy, but it can be very small towns and you don't know them.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, we'll see. While none of the players got themselves any trash cans, Sheena will be the one closer. 1,300 damage, sending Trisha down to just under 2,000 health left. We'll see now. hands to the head, Trishta, knowing that he needs a good one to strike back here.
Yeah, I read a very funny comment on YouTube saying, why is Trishta keeping his mouth open? Is he talking to anyone? I'm like, what?
He's breathing, bro.
What?
He's
Let him
breathing.
breathe. He needs to think. Come on.
Do you? I mean, I always think with my mouth open. Do you not?
Yeah, I think my mouth is generally like just like open.
The discussions that you can have when casting that you weren't expecting to be having coming into the day. Philippines is the initial hunch for Trishta. He's actually gonna lock it in early on
He
here as
found
well.
a sign.
Sheena is still yet to even open the map. This could be a big round for him.
Big round because Trishta's very far south and he has a sign, so he might be confident here.
Sheena has a road sign though. Oh, now he's coming back down as well. Last second readjustment might have saved Sheena. Indeed, it has. Trishta will be the one definitely closer, but that could have been a lot more scary had Sheena opted to go north side Philippines here.
Yeah, I think if he stayed in that position, he would have ended up on like 1k HP or something. So definitely a very good last second judgment with basically no information as well. This round should be fairly easy. We're going to be north of Pretoria with those poles. But as to where exactly, the players will try to find information. And let me tell you, those primary school names, they don't exist. They are not findable.
Nope. We'll see if get any more crucial info to work with. Sheena, again, finding school signs, church signs, not really what he's looking for.
Nope, seems like Trishta just made a guess, and he found something. I don't know what that says, though. It says Blue Water. I don't know if that's a town.
If not, then there's ocean with a lot of blue water out there on the coast, but not where you want to be going. Sheena able to line it up towards the east side, able to get a lot of points off of it, and almost taking down Trishta. There's still 326 health left for him to work with. As you can see, hands to the head, full zoom mode, full send mode. He needs 4,400 points off of Sheena as we go to Germany.
You know, this is Latvia with the ball.
Oh, I always get baited by those poles. I had it happen to me yesterday as well.
We also have the hooks on the poles, which also very helpful, but this is not what Trishta wants to see because Latvia, again, you can only lose here as Trishta. Like, Sheena's not going to miss the country. The country's not big enough to win. So, yeah, it's just about staying alive for Trishta here, really.
He's still staying and looking at them. He's committing to the car here. There's a lot of info on it. Oh, do you have?
It looks like it says some town there, but I just can't read it.
And there's phone, there's area code maybe that to be found. I don't know if Latvian area codes is something that people have dived into learning yet, but well, Trishta, 7 seconds to go. Still yet to commit to location now, south side Riga. Sheena is up towards the north, so this could be game. We'll see how it's gonna go as they both readjust last second pretty much to the same location. And Sheena is gonna be a smidge closer, but only 8 damage. Trishta stays alive.
Yep, staying alive. As I said, that's the only important thing here for Trishta. He's not winning that game in that round, so good to stay alive. And he gets a big country, so he'll definitely be happy to see this. We're going to be in India, and this looks... I mean, we are on a coast, and combined with language, you could definitely get a very close guess here.
We'll see who's going to get it. Plenty of signs despite this small dirt road. Going down the south side, Trishta instant deep, zooming in towards the very southern coast.
Yeah, it looks like Tamil language. So now it's really just about lining up the coast, really. Trying to find a white road that kind of makes sense.
Both locked in. Trishta has... No, sorry, Sheena has it, and that's going to be game. A lot of damage come through here, but only 300 was needed at that. And Sheena takes game number 1. A close one all the way down to the finish, but Sheena was never really in trouble.
No, not really. And kind of continues the trend from earlier against Clement. So definitely on a flawless right now. 3-0 in wins.
Solid start to the day for the Japanese player. As we go into no move, you got poles, you got some windmills there in the distance, and a lot of flat fields.
Yeah, it looks like we have a blue sticker on that pole, so it's going to be France. But as to where in France, I don't know if this is somewhere coastal in the west, surely.
Very flat.
This has to be coastal, especially with the trees. I would imagine.
Sheena's looking somewhere, not even coastal, really, just southwest of Paris. Trishta's still yet to even open up the map now. Looking in. Is he going the same area? Different deals. Down towards the southwest side of Paris. Both of them going to be in and around the same location. And they're both going to be equally far off, because it was all the way up towards the northern coast.
Yeah, I mean, probably they're just hedging coasts, because you never know if it's north or the western part, and that is pretty much the middle. I don't know if you want to commit there. The house maybe looked a bit more like Dutch, so could definitely guess it based off that. And we're in France again. We have the blue sticker yet again. So they're not going to be confused about the country here.
A big bridge there in the distance. Nope, never mind. That's not a bridge. That's trees. I reversed the colors in my...
That was a aqueduct, no?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking initially. The trees were lined up perfectly for it, but they're not quite the case.
Wait, was that not? Wait, I swear to One Direction there was like a aqueduct.
No, it was just trees.
Oh, there.
Yeah, it's trees.
Wait, what?
When you zoom out, it looks like an aqueduct, but when you zoom in, it's just a tree line.
Why are the trees so white?
Well, there you go.
We need a fact check on that one. Somebody zoom into that location and see.
It was, the field was white, the trees were green.
Okay, maybe.
I got debated by
there.
it too. But nonetheless, so did Trishta. It's going to take him down to 4,600 health early on here in game number 2. He needs a win here. He needs this one to go into NBC in order to get any points off of this. Or Sheena will have 4 games won in a row and 6 points in the back for this day. That would be a really good day for him.
Yeah, Trishta already risking something in the first few rounds, not paying off on that France round. This time we're going to be in Colombia. I don't know if it's east of Andes or north. I'm feeling more east of Andes here. And that's where both players are.
Well, let's see. East side, southeast side make that of Bogota. As they're both down on the Highway 40. It's going to be just a bit south of that in Puerto Rico. Which apparently is also a city in Colombia. Because that's not confusing.
Well, Puerto Rico means rich port, so...
And it's in the middle of the country, so you make that make sense.
I don't know. Maybe it's good for trade, who knows?
I guess so. As, once again, I mean, we're kind of zooming through these rounds. Going into round number 4. Still minimal damage done on Sheena's. Almost, actually, on Flawless. Just, very, very minimal damage as we go now to Spain. But where are we looking, Siggy?
Yeah, these hills are kind of confusing because they look western and northern at the same time to me. So I would probably just click Madrid here because I don't know which side. And that's what Sheena does right now. He's just clicking Madrid. And
go capital, again, go next.
Trishta again opting to go for a risky guess. Will it pay off this time? It would be quite tough if it's not.
He's not that far down in health. You don't need to fully send it, I feel like, but I don't feel like he's really fully sending it this time either, as it is just down towards the south. Despite going capital and go next, Sheena's actually still the closer player. So now sat just around 2,000 points ahead. Sheena still with the lead here, coming in to round number 5.
Yeah, I mean, clicking middle or capital is not really... doesn't really mean the players don't know what this location is. It's maybe just, okay, this maybe probably looks like the middle. So yeah, that's what they're guessing there. It's not always a scapegoat just going the middle. You won't win against these players by just clicking the middle. We should be in Finland here, just judging by the Gen 2 camera and the dirt road. Sheena clicking the middle of the... what is it even called in English? I don't even know. The Gulf of... yeah, I can't read that. Unlucky.
We'll see. Trishta, I mean, click by click, moving his way further towards the eastern border, but Sheena is still out on the southwestern coast of Finland. As we now make our way into the last couple of seconds left here. Time's gonna roll all the way down to the finish, and they're both jumping around still. I mean, going closer and closer to one another. Somehow, Sheena leaving the coastline. We should have stayed, but no! Actually, on point once again.
Yeah, on point. And your wordplay was pretty funny because you said closer to the finish, and we're in Finland.
Exactly. Even when I'm not trying to, I am hilarious. That's just that's one of my struggles in life, I guess.
Yeah, that would be considered a top tier joke in Germany. So
I know. The standard though is also not very high, but
no, not really. Well, speaking of not high standards, we're in Sweden, and I don't know how to region guess this, so I'll let the players decide.
Yeah, it's tricky, I suppose, in these sort of rounds, because I mean, foliage-wise, you don't really get a big variation of it, at least south to central Sweden. And this one, just on the northern side of Stockholm. Tricky one to figure that out when you only have a single street sign to work with and a couple of bullets.
Capital clickers on top.
Yeah, they would have won it once again. These rounds are pretty tricky. I mean, you get some foliage, private property. Ain't really going to give you a whole lot of info on that one, too, outside of it being English text. But yet again, some tricky rounds to work with. What are you looking at here, Siggy?
I moved to concrete road again, and we're driving right, so I mean it's between Philippines or Thailand, and driving right would only be Philippines. As to where in the Philippines this is, not my problem to figure that out. We have a lot of palms, which may usually place you more south, but
one thing's safe though, with a 4x multiplier and Trish to be down to under 2,000 health, this could, and hopefully for him will be, around where he really gets to bring home some points.
Yeah, I think we're definitely south here. Just the vegetation, like all these plants look super southern to me. So definitely like Sheena's guess.
He needs some health off of Sheena. He cannot have him set all the way up in the top, closing into round number 10 there. Once again, clicking their way closer to one another too.
Oh, another one.
It's Sheena closer once again, just by a small margin. That's the issue for Trishta, right? And what we saw from Spaghet in the previous game against Blinky that won it for him, is that whenever your opponent is off, you need to be on point. And for Trishta, that's just not been the case. There has been rounds where he could definitely have gotten some points off of Sheena, but haven't been able to log him on.
Can Toby point out Germany this time, though?
No, because then it's going to be Latvia. I always do it. Those bullets, I mean, the double white dots on one side and the line on the other, I just insta-go Germany, and then I look at the text afterwards and I go, it's Latvia again, isn't it? But this time around it's Germany.
Yeah, this
I'm
should
committing
be Germany.
because Sheena is committing.
Yeah, it should be Germany, but I'm a bit confused because we had a triangle marker, and that's usually not found in Bavaria, but the rest looks like Bavaria, so I'm a bit confused.
Let's see. Seems like they're letting this one go all the way down. So the last couple of seconds I say that, but no, Sheena actually kind of unorthodoxly locking it in with 15 seconds left to play. So now just giving Trishta that bit of extra time to work with. He was going to get it regardless. But let's now see what he's going to line up out on the western borders where he's going to go. So some distance in between him. 4.5 times multiplier. It's going to be south again. So yet another round where points could have been taken off of Sheena. But still somehow he's the one out victorious.
Yeah, and even if Sheena ends up losing this game, I think he would be the deserving winner right now.
He's definitely playing well.
I mean, in a tighter matchup, I would say Sheena has just played better than Trichter. So it definitely would be a deserving win, but we have a big country here, so there's definitely an opportunity for Trichter here. We are going to be in Indonesia with that pole. As to where that pole is found, I mean, that looks like a South Sulawesi roof, so we should be in South Sulawesi.
Are we hitching here on the side of Sheena? Maybe? Out on the water?
He's a bit confused by the support on the pole, which is usually more found in the East Nusa Islands, but the roof should be more reliable, I would say. And it being flat, also more maybe South Sulawesi.
20 seconds left to work with. Trish is still yet to even open the map. We'll see how much time he's gonna get once he gets it opened up. Down to 10 seconds we go. This could be a losing round. This could be game over for Trishta, as Sheena would then make it 2-0, get himself another set of 3 points for him. Where, oh, where are we going?
Seems like Trishta is going South Sulawesi. I like the guess.
Finally.
It ends up being there.
Finally, a round one on a big round, and that almost taking Sheena all the way down. Wow, that was a lot more painful than I thought it was going to be. And that sets up for an absolutely insane round 10 now. 90 points between the two. Where are we going?
Well, it looks like we're gonna end up in Italy here. Last round, we have the black back signs. We have the Italian plate there. Short, double blue strip. Good luck region guessing this.
90 points. They could be just a couple of meters apart, and that could be the deciding factor in who comes out victorious.
I can't tell where in Italy this is. This looks like the middle part. I could even see Sicily, maybe.
Yeah. Trishta is looking to go just north of Naples. Seems like Sheena is in a... Imagine if they're practically on top of each other. This is going to be so close.
It's going to be close regardless.
5.5 times multiply. For those of you guys who don't know, since we are on round 10, even if no player is fully eliminated, it's going to be the player with the most health left by the end of round 10 that wins it. But you'd have to imagine that this is going to be... I mean, someone's going to lose here. Someone's going to die. Oh.
It's Richter.
Oh. He's going to get it.
Up.
He's going to strike back in the last 2 rounds. He brings it home. You can see the sigh of relief there. Oh, wow. From Philippines to Italy and into an NPC.
Damn, I don't want to say undeserved win by Trichter, but Sheena definitely should have committed South Sulawesi with the roof there. I think, I have to call out blunders when they happen.
Of course, that's our job.
Kind of where the esport has to evolve to. That I can also say if something was just a miss. But Trichter, just saw the roof, guessed there, and Sheena was even lucky to be alive after that round, because if Trichter gets a bit closer, the game just ends in one single round. But overall, yeah, Trichter stayed.
I mean, now the momentum turns, right? I mean, maybe not in this round because we go into an open field in Russia. That's not exactly the best place to start things. But I guess, if anything, then give it to us in round 1 so the damage won't be massive. But Trichter closer now, and all of a sudden, I mean, just like that, 2,000 points down, Sheena looked locked in. He looked like he had it completely, won already effectively. But now, the tides have turned, and Trichter is looking to get 2 points over this game.
Yeah, he was so close to guaranteeing 3 points, and now he has to struggle to get even 2 points. So definitely a big swing there for Sheena. I mean, Sheena won't have a problem qualifying for the APAC regional, so he can be, happy with that, but he cannot be happy losing that game because he literally had the game. So as we go to this round, Toby, this is all you. I need vibes here.
I am gonna vibe my way to Colombia.
Honestly, Colombia is not a bad shout. I kind of like it, but...
Oh, you know what, Sheena? I hate you. You zoomed in on Colombia and then you went Brazil. I was like, I thought I was really getting good there for a second. But my vibe tells me Colombia. I'm sticking through it with it.
Yeah, it's really between Brazil, Colombia, and Mexico here. And because of the stick fence, I would maybe consider more Mexico or Brazil. Could be Colombia still.
You know what? If one is going Brazil and one is going Mexico, then I will gladly take the win in Colombia. Because it's right in between.
Maybe it's Colombia and you're the GOAT. Who knows?
I'm hedging in between the pros. Let's see who gets it. It's going to be Trichter. It's up in Mexico. And is that game in round 2? It is! What a turnaround from 0-1. Almost dead. And then 4 rounds later, it's 2-1. What
and I love the celebration there by Trichter. Showing some emotion, we definitely need some emotion in GeoGuessr.
Wow.
And putting up the fist after that win, what a comeback.
These games that we're getting today, they're absolutely insane. He was done for. Sheena had it locked up and shipped way out. Those 3 points were his in the making. But no, Trichter had it up his sleeve. He knew he could turn it around. That's, that's the art of never giving up. And then to be able to not only turn it around, but in the style too, go into an NPC and just boom, boom, 2 rounds in, you win. What a game.
Yeah, the NPC game literally just flawless from start to finish. We literally had 2 rounds and he was pretty much on it in both rounds, Sheena being off in both. And the no-move game, you said it, you have to be always there, always waiting for that one mistake. That's kind of, sometimes the opponent doesn't make mistakes until that final round. Then, pretty unlucky for Sheena, but, Trichter used what he had. What can you say?
That was insane. I'm hyped. I hope you guys out there are hyped. We got the problem solved. We got insane games going your way. Goes to show the excitement that is GeoGuessr in these matchups. I loved everything about it. The fact that it was such a slow burn too. Trichter did everything he could to stay in the race, both through the moving and the no-move game. And then in the manner of 4 rounds, just to be able to completely flip it upside down and come out with the win. That was, for me, that's exactly what GeoGuessr is all about. Staying alive all the way to the end and then, making a case for yourself.
Yeah, there's always going to be people unhappy with losses like this where you just lose to the multipliers. But, as a viewer, and it's a viewer esport, so, I have to please the viewers as well. And as a viewer and a caster, I was very pleased with that game. I can tell you that. Definitely need more of those games where you just, have a game completely flip upside down. I mean, Blinky against Spaghet was similar, but you just have blunders here and there. But this game was a 360-degree turn. No, 180. Sorry.
All the turns, all the
turn.
directions, and all the numbers. Don't do math on camera. We've learned it here as well, because it never gets you anywhere good. But with that game out of the way, let's hop into the next one and hope that we get just as exciting a matchup. The matchup in itself should be enough to get you excited as we make our way into the next matchup here. What do you got for me, Siggy? Break me down these players that we're going to be seeing.
Yeah, I think next up we have Anu and Flyme, if I'm not mistaken. My brain doesn't let me down. Let's see. It is Flyme against Anu. And I think this is a matchup maybe towards the bottom of the table. I think Flyme is one of the 2 bottom players. Maybe even last place. I think Swan Gambit is below him, but as you can see, 25% win rate. Not looking too great in that regard. Also the precision stat, pretty low, but I don't think Anu's is like way higher, but it should be a bit higher still.
Now, it's been a Japanese showing, I feel like, all the way today. We start with Spaghet, then we get Sheena, now we get Anu. We've had a win and a loss. Exciting games nonetheless, though, so curious to see what Anu is going to bring. He did get 0-2'd, or he did get 2-0'd, I suppose you should say, in his first matchup, so hopefully he can turn that tide around here coming into this one. But as you're saying, it's further down the bottom of the leaderboard. Win rate for him, though, better than what we see from Flyme, 41%, and rather quick at guessing too.
Yeah, I think Flyme only has 2 games won. One of them actually being against Debray, which I find interesting. Debray, pretty strong player, so Flyme actually took him down 2-0, which I find quite interesting. But as you can see, the precision and the guess stat are pretty similar, just the win rate really taking them apart. And Anu, you said, just came off a 0-2 loss. I mean, he played Trichter, so can you really blame him? As we just saw, not really the easiest opponent.
The nightmare for all Japanese players to go up against today, it would seem. Maybe if Spaghet is that they're waiting for him.
Sheena, yes.
Maybe that's going to be the case. We see here the leaderboard overall. As you can see, 9 placements in between him, but that is less than 2 2-0s. I mean, it's just 6, or make that 5 points in between the 2 players. So even for Flyme, get a good game going here, and you could be out on top. Now we are in round number 2 already. As you can see, Anu was victorious in the first one. Flyme down to just over 5,000 health as we get this game going.
Yeah, and the funniest part about this round said that it said, "Welcome to Frankfurt," like Frankfurt, but just spelled with an O. And we're going to be in Michigan with that highway shield, so you can definitely find a town called Frankfurt in Michigan.
Yeah, if you care to spend the time to look for it, we'll see if they find themselves satisfied with the Michigan plonk in round number 2.
Wait,
it's a rather large state. So
it says Lake Michigan to the west, so you should be on the western side of the... That's a funny sign, I've never seen that.
We'll see. We'll see who's going to get it. Flyme so far still in the very center. Not really looking for cities. Now going far up towards the west. As the time runs out, he sends it last second and what?
He found a town named Frankfurt.
I mean,
nice find.
What? He wasn't even zoomed in on the map?
The thing is, we see a different zoom level than the players see.
Okay, because I was going to say, that looked insane. He flicked it last second and was 600 meters off. That looked insane.
Yeah, maybe something that could be improved on, but the players do have like 1 zoom level more in than we see because of just the screen being smaller, so it's adjusted for us to not show too many place names.
That makes more sense, because that had me completely bamboozled there.
Yeah, we also missed the first round, I just realized, because Flyme already lost like 1,000 points, so I don't know what happened there, but we're gonna be in France, so maybe Flyme will be happy.
France
as he is part French.
A lot of France today, a lot of Thailand today. I feel like those are the 2 countries that we've been visiting the most. But you know what? I'm happy with it, because last week it was all about America. So maybe we get a little bit more European love this time around. Borderline almost towards Spain. We'll see who gets it. It's Flyme again, able to strike back after a tough 1,000 point loss early on. Strikes big on this one, sends Anu down to under 4,000.
Yeah, he's using his second passport buff there. Just, you know, if you have a second passport from a country, you just instantly get better at it in GeoGuessr. Fun fact. This is how it is. As we move on to round number 4 in Australia here, driving left with the bollard. Pretty standard to get the country, but as to get the, region, I'm not sure yet. But there is a sign for Flyme.
Yeah, we'll see if he gets any valuable info off of it. Zooms in. Ooh, a lot of cities available there, including the road sign.
Very good information. Bendigo, one of the biggest towns in Victoria, so a very good find there. B75 also should be findable. So yeah, good sign for him.
What do we have for Anno? And this is again, I mean, where you talk moving, where you go, who has the better info? Did you go up the street? Did you go back down where you came from? What are you working with? And seems like Anno, I mean, still yet to even open the map here. He will not be, or shouldn't be at least, as close to this one as Flyme is going to be. I say
yeah,
that,
Flyme's
but...
found it now.
1 second left to work with. Yeah, and you know what? For Anno's case, considering how good information Flyme had to work with, only losing 1,300 in that one, if he knew, I think he's pretty satisfied with that.
Yeah, I think that was a good enough guess without any information available. I think getting Victoria there was possible, so still staying alive. That is the most important thing here as we move on to...
Georgia.
Georgia? What? Was it a Georgia flag?
No. Georgia State. On the street sign, there was a Georgia Tech, like the University of Georgia.
Okay, I don't... Why do you know that?
Because I watch American football.
Okay. We have an area code here, 970, so if you know your phone codes, you know where you are.
I'm gonna Google it right now.
I don't need to Google it, though.
Code.
Let's see if you get the correct one. I mean, I don't know where in Colorado it is. Should be Colorado, but I don't know if it's the northwestern one or the southeastern one.
We need to go back in this round and tell me that this was not a Georgia University sign. Because that very much looked like it.
He found a Colorado State highway shield. That is a very good find by Arno in the last second.
How did I get so bamboozled? I finally thought I had something cool going, and it was just not the case whatsoever. And once again, a massive hit from Flyme, taking Arno down to just under 900 health.
Yeah, Flyme really showing off his strength in the moving game. I feel like he was favored coming in. But now we instantly find an address here. Malacca. Just a very weird spelling of Malacca on the map. And...
GG go next round. Neither of these two guys wanted to spend too much time here. 88 damage done. Minimal at that as we continue forth into round number 7. Anno needs something good. He needs Flyme to make a big mistake. But he has been prone to make mistakes, so maybe this one is going to be it.
Ooh, big country here. We have a short antenna. Ooh, wait, we actually jumped into Gen 4 now. Did we? Okay, I'm not sure what's going on. Wait, is this Gen 4? Ignore me, but if it is just short antenna blurred, then we should be near Ufa or more north. So I definitely like Anno's guess. No, Russia, one of those countries where you just have to learn the antennas, sadly. It is what it is.
Chat is reminding me now as well that I googled the phone code and I'm banned. You know what? I respect it. It's against the rules. I just wanted to prove myself wrong and I did. But luckily for me, I'm not the one playing this one. It is Flyme, though, able to take this one home. 1-0 against Anu, despite losing 1,000 points in round number 1. Obviously, we didn't get to see that round, but that's pretty big. I mean, for round 1 games, that's a pretty big loss early on.
Yeah, but seems like he recovered quite well from it. Didn't really let that affect anything. And yeah, he's on pace to win his 3rd ever game in the World League. And against opponents that are also lower on the leaderboard, you really have to get those wins.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. I'm still bamboozled by the Georgia Tech street sign. And it was in Colorado.
And maybe it was just a partner university thing, you know?
Either that, or it's someone who knows that people play GeoGuessr a lot, and he's trying to bait people by changing all the street signs. Because if so, you know what? Good on you, bro. It worked.
Kind of worked, yeah, but not for the players, because they probably don't even know the Georgia State thing. Like, I have no clue what that is.
Exactly.
He said it like, how do you know the Georgia flag? That seems very odd.
Oh, it's just a big G.
Oh.
In a fun color. But nonetheless, that's by the by. Let's focus on what we have at hand here. It's game number 2. We're playing no move, and we are in Argentina. question is gonna be where? Well, it's closer to Flyme by quite the margin.
I mean, you know, being from Argentina, you have to be closer. Another buff used there by him.
True.
Really using both his passports here. France and Argentina on his side. Anu waiting for this Japan round, but this is not going to be Japan.
Even chat is confirming to me that it was, in fact, the University of Georgia logo. So I was confused for good reason.
Okay.
And now I'll leave the round behind. Never have I felt so cheated by GeoGuessr before. So here we go. Yet another tricky out in the middle of nowhere Russia round. What are we working with here? Anu seems to line it up. Is there a lot of info to go by here?
You say tricky, it's one of the freest road in the country, just by how long it is. So both of them will definitely be very close here. No surprises.
Maybe it's because when I see Russia, insta send it east of Moscow and hope for the best. These guys don't have to because they're much better than that. They could have gone a bit further north to line up at 10k, but not quite to be. Flyme stays flawless though, thus far setting 1,300 points ahead of Anu as we now go into round number 3.
Yeah, moving on to the UK or British Isles, I should say. Not sure if it's Ireland or the UK. Looks like something either in Wales or maybe Ireland. Really have to use the houses here. If you see more white houses, you're usually more in Ireland. So if you can make the houses out, could use those.
Let's see. Both going towards the far northern coast, but on each their side of the country. Obviously,
the
Northern
borders
Ireland
really don't matter in GeoGuessr. That's kind of the beauty, no? We're unpolitical, really.
Oh, Anu changing it up. 12 seconds left to play. See if we're gonna end up getting even further away. Obviously not the biggest country, so with only 2 times multiplier, it shouldn't be game or anything close to it. But Flyme logging in north, one logging in west, and it's gonna be south on the complete opposite end. And Anu, blessed with that one, tying things up.
Yeah, coastal vegetation can be quite deceiving, as you just saw, because you can't really tell how north something is or how south something is. It just looks coastal. And what do we have here? Wake Forest, North Carolina. I wonder where we could be.
Georgia. No, I'm kidding. That's a lot of info to be had early on.
Is he kidding, chat?
Is he kidding, or does he think that North Carolina equals Georgia?
The question is who can find the town?
You know that your opponents found the exact same info early on. Is this a...
Oh, Anu found it.
Wow.
Are you actually trying to...
I thought maybe I was going to try and line it up properly, but hell's the city itself. And nothing you really do there if you're Flyme, other than shake your head and go, oh, that's an annoying one to lose.
Yeah, I'm very surprised Flyme didn't want to scan because, you know, more of a moving player, usually more confident with scanning, but he was just like, you know what? I'm just going to send, but it didn't really pay off in that moment.
Maybe guessed that Anu wouldn't be able to find the city in time. Yucatan is where Anu is taking us, at least initially. Do you like this direction? Oh, no, now changing it up.
I'm not sure here what I'm looking at. I mean, Mexico is a given here. I kind of like the Yucatan, but at the same time, it looks very weird. Like, I think the entire East Coast is possible all the way to Veracruz. But if you know your taxis, you could be in a very good spot, because taxis in Mexico are regional. I think Veracruz has red ones, so it shouldn't be Veracruz, so maybe Tabasco or Yucatan.
Well, Anu went down to Tabasco. Flyme still further west than that. As now Anu is going back towards Merida. He's zooming in and out, trying to figure out if he wants to commit to it or not. He's jumping back and forth between these positions, and Flyme is still quite a bit further towards the west. This could be pretty decent sized damage coming in. We'll see if it's going to be in between. No, as a matter of fact, it's all the way east.
All the way east.
And that's game.
Very nice. Very nice guess by Adu, kind of vibing it out. Makes a lot of sense to be Yucatan Peninsula just by how flat it is. That's not a thing you get in a lot of, you know, parts of the country.
Well, Anu able to strike back, take a round home on Flyme, or game, I should say. And now we head on in to an NPC. It's game number 3. Everything on the line. One of these players will be going away with a single point off of this game. The other will get 2. As Anu insta-sends it up towards Finland, but not. I thought he was going to log in right after. He seemed very committed to it, but no login to be followed.
Yeah, holy shit. He was on it before my screen even opened the game. And now he's considering...
don't go Iceland, Anu. Please don't. There's more trees in this frame than there is on Iceland.
I don't think he will go Iceland here, but he was considering US-Canada here. I can kind of see where he's coming from. But
I feel like these boreal dirt roads, especially in NPC, are so baity because it can be... I mean, not on all continents, but like if you go Sweden or Canada, that's so many points.
The road in Canada would be wider. I feel like.
Well, now they're
I
hovering
don't really use dirt paths this close, but I don't know if it's Sweden or Finland. I could see both.
Anno still swimming in and out Newfoundland, looking back towards it, not wanting to click it. There's a lot of second guessing, but stays in Finland, and for good reason. While it was Sweden, that would have been a lot more damage come through had he opted to go towards Canada.
And crazy guess on Flyme's side there, basically.
Yeah.
Bang on it in Sweden.
Impressive. Impressive, no doubt about it. Because as we were talking about earlier as well, I mean, even in the no-move game, region guessing, or like specifically based on foliage guessing, Sweden can be incredibly difficult. Because it's very copy-pasta pretty much throughout the entire southern part of the country.
Yeah, they kind of were a bit sloppy there. They kind of, you know, just spawned some rocks in the south and that was it.
They should have generated the better map. Should have given us some more to work with as we now go to Thailand, and once again, Flyme on point.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a middle click or an educated guess, but nonetheless, that is...
Educated middle click.
Educated middle click, you know, as I explained earlier, sometimes it's not a guess, it's a no.
Well, okay, insta-sending it to Nairobi. Is it camera quality, or what are we basing this guess on?
I think just and this could be very... Flyme seems very confused, and I think Nairobi is correct. The suburbs of Nairobi look like this.
My friend, you're in trouble.
Oh, my friend, this could be game. I think it will be game. I think this is Kenya.
You know what?
I think this is Kenya.
And he's getting it. He get it. Yeah, you can see Flyme, the frustration. Wow. The one time Anna really puts on the pressure, you could see Flyme just did not, he barely even had time to think. It was like you in the first round, like, bro, my screen hasn't even opened and you're already locking it in. Great change of pace from Anu, because he played the last couple of rounds somewhat slow, and then he comes in here, insta-sends it, and that clearly caught Flyme off guard.
Yeah, it caught him off guard, and that's like a type of round where if it doesn't click in your head and you don't really think about Kenya, you will not get that round. Yeah. It has to be in your mind. Like, Kenya has to come up as a thought even to be able to get the location. And it didn't come up for Flyme. And after the round, you could see his frustration because he knows that round is so gettable. If I even think of Kenya once, he will definitely get it just by how the neighborhood looks. But
it goes to show, I mean, again, there's so many things going through the brain of a GeoGuessr player, especially at this level of play. We can see the score of the other matches coming in as well. V89 taking Amarain 2-0. Eman taking Karania 2-1 as well are the other matches we've had play so far here today. But to stay with that game for just a second, I mean, for Flyme, with the pressure being built on, knowing that you were ahead 1-0 and then potentially losing 2-1, it's pretty similar to the previous match we had, where we had, I mean, a close matchup to then just go boom, boom, game over. Anu able to strike back hard there.
Yeah. Kind of the same pattern, really, where both players almost had like the 3-point save and then the other player just came back swinging. And then maybe you kind of get nervous because you're like, oh my god, I was so close to getting 3 points and now I scrambled for 2 and now I didn't even get 2, I got 1. Just a very bad feeling overall, I would say.
Yeah, a tough one. A quick one of that too. Blink and you miss it. There was a lot of points gone against him once he committed to Chile. But that do be the game sometimes. This is as difficult as it gets. We're now going to head on over to Yanik versus Stran. And since I have a German co-caster who did spend 1 year of his life in Delaware, and we get ourselves a German player, you know what? I'll let you talk to me about Yanik and Stran.
Yeah, Yanik, very strong player from Germany, but I think right now the strongest player from Germany is without a doubt Lenly. I mean, he's putting up numbers. I think Yanik is not doing too well. It's not too bad, but at the same time, he could be doing better because I think definitely has more in store, just judging by how his competitive performance was in the normal GeoGuessr format and the competitive mode. So I was expecting a bit more, but on the other hand, we have Stran, where I didn't really have too much expectation for him. But he has been playing really well so far, I have to say. I'm quite impressed by him. And the numbers are against Yanik, and my sentiment is also kind of that Stefan is the favorite player here.
Yeah.
It's sad to say for me, but I have to give it to our Polish neighbors here. And as you can see, Yanik pretty far down the leaderboard with a lot of games played as well, so it's pretty hard for him to come back.
I'd say that's the one thing, right? Because we say pretty far down the leaderboard, it's 10 points apart in placements, but it's just 4 points. I mean, that's the thing. If you look at the leaderboard overall, it's insane how close it is. Up in the top, there are certain players that are starting to run away with it. But in the grand scheme of things, it is really close. As we get into game number 1, round number 1. And Yanik here trying to take on Stefan and see if he can claw back up the leaderboard.
And we're gonna start with a bilingual sign here. Interesting. Not sure if I saw that correctly. Yeah, it is. It is Swedish and Finnish, so we're gonna be on the southern and west coast of Finland. That is where they speak both languages.
Big baits coming through for all the GeoGuessr players that come in and go, oh, look, it's Swedish sign somewhere. And then you go, Sweden, nope, wrong. But they do be like sometimes this way. We'll now see. I mean, if you know the region already, I'm surprised that they're still maneuvering around as much as they are. You know the approximate, but is the area big enough that it could be big points even in round 1?
It's just a very long area. It's just literally the coastal areas in the west and south. So it could still be big points. But if you find a town name, it's very easy to scan for because it's limited.
Of course. Well, we'll see if anyone gets it. Yanik is going to just default into Helsinki. It's on the very southern tip of the mainland of Finland. Those 24 points will go against Stefan. So Yanik, while maybe not being the player seeded to win this, you know, today has been a day of upsets, starting off with Spaghet taking on Blinky. So maybe Yanik can bring this one home against Stefan too.
And we're not leaving the same language group because I thought we're looking at Estonian there. Judging by also the road, short dashes instead of solid line. Really in the Baltics, it's really only... No, that is Lithuanian. Wait,
we're getting baited. We're getting baited.
I am trolling. But this is a good sign for Yanik here. Basically gives you the 2 road numbers. And maybe if you find one of the big towns, he found one.
Yeah.
Can he find the another one? He did. And now he can just click.
Yanik,
in the right town. Click.
Give us that 5K. We haven't had a single 5K today. Line it up, my man. You know you want to. Yeah, there you go. Look down on the ground. Line it up with a compass. He's looking towards the southeast part of town. Now going back to where he originally started. It's looking good. Are we getting the first 5K of the day, chatters? Or what are we looking at here?
I don't think he's exactly on it, though.
Oh, yeah. He's not. Unfortunately, I thought he had it for a second there, but no. Road didn't quite line up. But still, a good start for him taking 2 rounds in a row.
You know, lining up, not really worth it in this mode, but, you know, for the viewers, you can do it. Why not?
Gotta do it for the viewers. You always have to if you can. That's my rule.
True.
That's why I don't make the decisions. I was gonna say this looks like Japan with the poles, and now with them looking at the poles, I would have to say that that's probably true.
Yeah, and we have a long plate, so it's gonna be Hokkaido. We also have these claymores, like heating things on the houses, which is also common in the northern parts of Japan, so it basically confirms the Hokkaido shout. So it should be safe to say that we're gonna be on the... I say island of Hokkaido, but really Japan is just islands in general, but...
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of just that GeoGuessr thing. For me, Japan mainland is not an island.
Hondo.
You could fight me on it.
Is it Hondo? It's called, I think, right? Yeah, mainland Japan.
I don't know. If it's not important for GeoGuessr, I don't know it.
You only know geography. That makes sense in GeoGuessr.
I don't know geography. I only know GeoGuessr.
Fair enough. But they're both going up towards Hokkaido, the northern big island. And they're both going to be correct, at least in the island. But despite that, both also pretty far off. Hamanaka is where it was. And neither of them were within 250 kilometers.
Yeah, Hokkaido can be quite hard. Even if you find a road number, they're not really ordered. So...
Ooh. Now tell me this one is an easy one, because it looks very difficult to me. But it's probably this is the only city that looks like this. Something like that.
Something like that. And Yanik found a very good coverage here, because he found a coverage where the antenna is short and blurred. And we had it earlier where I said it's going to be north of Ufa somewhere, and it's the exact same area again.
Oh.
And maybe Stefan didn't see that. Or maybe there are some small areas in Moscow that have it as well, so it could be there. But it is where Yanik is. That's
nice.
almost the game here. Almost.
Almost, but not quite. Had we been one round further into the multipliers, it could have been. I like how I'm not the only one that just kind of sends it a bit east of Moscow. When in doubt, thank you, Stefan, for proving to me that that strat is, in fact, viable. Even if the round didn't go his way. But he's playing from behind now, set at 1400 health. Needs something going his way in round number 5.
Yeah, we're not trying to leave Eastern Europe here. We're back again in Hungary this time with that language. And both of them have the same sign on their screen. Love to see it. And do they know something? Because they're both... Wait, did he... He found a similar name and they're kind of ordered. And it seems like Stefan actually found the exact town. So, yeah. It's gonna be a 5K.
Any 5Kers in the chat? Yes, there are. The first one comes
Yes,
through
sir.
for the day. Stefan strikes home. Doesn't really strike big because, well, they're both in and around the correct area, but still, we like to see it.
Yeah, you like to see it, especially on a very random town name like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Once again, a rush around. I mean, we're having a hard time today. What does Yanik see? He zoomed into that city very quickly.
The sand on the side of the road, but Stefan should be able to find an address on this.
5 seconds.
Oh, he's not sure.
Oh.
But no, he's in so good as well.
This could be game. This probably will be game because now it's the other way around. Yanik 800 meters off, and that is an easy peasy.
No, they're both in the same city.
Oh, wait, they're both equally far off. I thought he was on it. I thought it said 800 meters.
No, 800 meters would be a crazy guess.
Oh, I got baited
like-
so hard.
I was like, what is this guy talking about?
I got baited so hard. I need to get some more water. My brain is malfunctioning.
Malfunction? Speaking about playing later, but we're gonna be in Canada for now.
I baited myself so hard on that one. That was funny. I was ready to jump out of the chair of excitement, but not to be. We're staying in this one at least for a little while longer, as both players in the last one was equally far from the exact location. Stefan still lingering around 1400 health. What do we got to work with here, Siggy?
Yeah, it looks like a Western Alberta to me because I think we had mountains west. And it looks like Canada. So I was thinking somewhere in Alberta. And people are trying to look at the plates. And we are both in Alberta, so shouldn't be the game here unless we have a big difference in where in Alberta they guess, but they look very close to each other.
Oh. Yeah, just outside of Calgary. Again, small damage, but importantly for Stefan able to stay alive and take a bit off the health bar from Yanik, because we are getting closer to that eventual, should we get there, around 10, and by that point you would really want to have less points to worry about than almost 3,000.
Yeah, now we spawn in a pretty free round, I would say. I think we had just like the T on the hill, so it should be like Rize or Trabzon in Turkey here with the white car. But now, finding the bin. Just find the bin. That is really important to get the exact city. Because for Yanik, that could mean a win, and...
Definitely could. Don't swim, don't fish, you can't do anything around here. This is no fun town. Rice is where Yanik is going. Do you like this?
Yep, that's what I said, Rice, Trabzon area.
Yep. Well, they're going each their city. Let's see who gets it. It's gonna be Yanik. Is it going to be enough? You'd have to imagine not. No, not quite.
really.
But half health off. Stefan coming into round 9 now needs to hit home twice and has to hit pretty darn big in order to turn this one around.
Yeah, and we are gonna be in Germany, it seems. So if Yanik can find any information, he'll definitely be able to use it. Neukirchen, and he has a how would you call it? Autobahn number. Highway.
Let's see. Stefan, southeast side of Munich, down towards Salzburg. Yanik is a bit further north here.
Yeah, he found the... Wait, did he find it? I'm not sure if he found the exact number, but...
Equal distance? Nope. But still. At least a little bit closer. We'll see. Coming into round 10 now, if 170 points is going to be the difference maker in whether or not Yanik wins this one. It's round number 10. Stefan needs something massive. And is this what he wants to see?
It's a massive country. I mean,
yeah.
Western USA here is a given. But if there's any information for the state, it might be over for Stefan. But it seems like so far, no, definitive clues.
He needs to take off at least 3,400 health from Yanik in this round. It is round 10. Should it be, even if no one goes all the way down to 0, it's the one with the most health left by the end of this one. Lancaster, St. John. I feel like US smaller cities can be baity, because I feel like half of the states have all the same city names, but he found it.
He found it.
Imagine the turnaround.
I mean, Yanik is in the right state, so he shouldn't be too far off.
Well, we'll see. He's nodding. We'll see if it's going to be enough. Nah, nowhere near. That's why you need the big points early on in the game. Yanik loses the round, but with the most health left alive, he is going to take the game regardless. And now sits up 1-0 against Stefan, who, I mean, as you said as well on paper, would look to be the victor. But then again, if we have to go back to anything we've seen throughout the day, the player that wins moving loses 2-1.
Yeah, true. I mean, Yanik basically won the moving game by that one rush, I guess, where he switched into the right coverage, where you had the better meta.
This looks like a Windows background.
Yeah, Canada be like that sometimes.
Well, quick picks coming in. Minimal damage to follow. As we get round 1 out of the way as quick as can be. And now head on into round number 2. Stefan able to hit home early on here. Minimal damage at that. But let's get into round 2.
Round 2 looks like New Zealand. You love to see it.
If you're who?
Me?
Bone welfare. I was thinking maybe Yanik or Stefan has the upper hand on this.
I don't think so, but
I mean, you've obviously traveled the entirety of New Zealand, so tell me where this is.
Well, I haven't been on this road, I can tell you that much. But I quite like Yanik's guess. It just looks like generic North Island, middle.
We'll see if he's going to get it with it. Stefan looking to follow suit. A bit further north. No, now actually almost at quite on top of one another. Should have gone a bit further north, but it's not really going to matter too much. Minimal damage being done here in this one. 28 at that is Stefan. Stays flawless. 6k health still left to work with. But could only imagine that Yanik is going to strike back eventually.
Yeah, he will definitely get the opportunity to strike back. Whether he will strike back, we don't know. But will we see somebody lining up the 5k here? Because I think the road should be pretty easy. And finding a big river, also possible. It should be the main highway going from Santa Fe to Corrientes. Somewhere on that span.
Santa Fe is where Yanik is looking, trying to line up roads. You have a big river, you got a big highway, maybe you can find the crossing here.
Yeah, it's a split highway especially because there's not that many of those in Argentina.
River crossing, highway split. They're both looking up and down this road, but of course it's a pretty long one at that. So could still be big points between them, should they not sit right next to each other. But it seems like they are pretty much in agreement of where they should be posted. And well, should have opted to go further south than that one.
Yeah, never mind. I'm wrong, they are wrong, we all are wrong. That's okay.
For Yanik, important though, able to turn this one around, able to maintain the no flawless. With Stefan able to sit him down at 5,200 health now, going into round number 4, where once again you don't really have too much to work with. I say that, but we all know that, I mean, with the Finbar and everyone else looking towards the southeast, you guys all know exactly where we are.
Yeah, very interesting antenna with a flag on it. Happens in a few countries in Europe. Romania, Bulgaria, Czechia, Hungary. And with the hook pole, we should be in Bulgaria. And that's where both players are.
Yep, each their side of the country. Stefan is going to be closer this time around. 1,200 damage, starting to hit a little harder, even only in round 4. The distance between these two are getting that much bigger, even when within the same country. Heading into round number 5 now. Beautiful location in Kazakhstan. Yeah,
it is, and I mean both players will know road pretty much because of Kazakhstan. It is what it is.
Any 10 cares?
I quite like Yanik's lineup right now.
It doesn't look too bad. Stefan, go east, bro. We have a 10k emo. We never get to use it. Give it to us.
I don't think we'll get a 10k here.
Wait,
There's
he's
just too
going
many-
west on this.
Oh, they're both in the same region.
I was gonna say they're both on the same road, but they're both just a little bit off. Unlucky. It was meant to be, but not quite the case. As we head into round number 6, but what a beautiful location.
Yeah, the 10k emote. We're gonna need to wait a bit more on that. Looks
save
like
it for
Scotland here.
A rare Scotland. I feel like it's been a while since we've been up there.
Yeah. Also just looks like, I don't know, just hills and fields.
Yeah.
Not much going on here.
Yanik going right onto the O in Kingdom. But Stefan is looking to go really hard north on this one. 3.5 times multiplier. This could hurt. It most likely will, and indeed it will. This is going to be big.
Points, I mean, this is going to be like, yeah, 3.5k.
Yeah.
And I did lie because it was England, but very close to the Scottish border.
Can't trust him, guys. You heard it here
Can't
first.
trust me. I mean, I'm not playing for a
City is
reason.
full of lies. Never to be trusted. Else
I mean-
okay, so both of these guys first instantly look towards watermark. Or copyright, whatever you want to call it.
It's very helpful in Europe, especially because in Europe you don't really have that many, you know, vegetation clues to go off, so you resort to copyright. My first instinct here was Belgium, but we have no car, so it could also be Austria.
Is there anything on the... It's not even a bullet, it's just a fencing for the corn or whatever that
also,
field is.
the corn makes more sense for Austria as well.
Well, northwestern Austria.
We have Belgium, so both countries I mentioned, one person will win here, and it is Belgium.
And it will be Belgium. Will it be enough to bring home the window? 4 times multiplier easily come through as once again the script stays true. The winner of moving sends it in to NMPC. Oh, wow. Now, the last 2 times we've had this happen, it's been GG in game 2, or round 2. Let's see if Stefan can do this, or if Yanik can break the curse that has been the last 3 games.
Well, they both will get the country on this round, I am quite sure.
Woohoo. A newer, I guess we should call it. Would you still consider Oman new? I mean, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, but I think Oman was a pretty boring addition because it's just a desert.
Doesn't even line up to 10k.
True.
Well, there's the first round. Let's see if you can now take 5,900 points off of Yanik in round 2 to stay true to the script. Or if Yanik will be able to turn this one around as we go from no trees to, I won't say plenty of trees, but at least a few more. What are we looking at here? Come on, Ziggy. That's your job here. You're the one who's supposed to give all the insights. Where are we?
I was about to say what the Sigma because I have no clue what I'm seeing here. My initial thought was also Argentina or Uruguay, so I don't hate the guess, but what am I looking at? I would love to see the pole on the left. There's definitely a pole, but I can't see it.
We can go by exclusion. It's not Denmark. It's not
Germany.
It's not Amsterdam, specifically, nor is it Netherlands, totally. It's probably not Belgium either. So now we got, like 190 countries left?
I mean, I guess Russia makes the most sense.
This could be game. We're going far east Russia towards... and up in Siberia for Yanik. This is...
I mean, I like Stefan's guess more, but... what is that location, though? Okay, I mean...
Wow, welcome to NMPC, guys, where chaos happens.
That's a Russia moment. Stefan being in the right country,
St.
6,000 kilometers. 6,000 kilometers away in the right country.
Love to see it. I love to see it mainly because neither of the 2 players actually got eliminated off of that round, because that would have been kind of unfortunate this happened in round 8. But not quite the case. Sochi.
We're gonna stay in Russia.
Stefan is going down towards the 2014 Winter Olympics.
Correct. Can see remnants of that in Street View as well, because that's the good part about Street View. It's, you know, retrospectively you can look at things. Unless you're looking at Germany, because you can't. Only new coverage there.
Only new coverage. Well, Insta Tunis. Zoom in. What do we see here that's Tunis specific?
Not Tunis specific. I mean, just the trees and how it looks. Just Tunisia, just guess it. Not that much to look at.
A rare round 5 in an NPC, because I feel like throughout the day when we've gone to an NPC, it's been done for in just the first couple of rounds. But yet another pretty location, mountains there in the distance. Some text to work with too, but is there anything that you can really use for anything here?
I wish I could read the text, because there definitely is a logo of a city.
Mm-hmm. Izmir? I mean, there's some distance in between these two initial hunches.
The thing is, what is weird, it looks like southern coast, but the mountain we were looking at to the east is more south. Like, maybe it can be where Stefan is, but again, I can't read what it says. I don't see the water tanks well enough to make a educated guess here.
Let's see. Antalya, just east thereof is where Stefan is going. Alanya is where Yanik is looking. Two big tourist destinations.
That's where both are. Both are in Alanya right now.
Oh, they are there. True. And they're both equally far off. And you know what? I think they were both, if not in that specific city, then close there too earlier. But both opted to leave.
Stefan did not check that city. Yanik did at least check that coastline. You kind of scan the entire coast.
Yet another screensaver. Just screenshot. Go mountains, go Alps, go next.
Go Switzerland, go next. That is true. Low camera here. Pretty hard to see actually in this location, but could be the Gen 2 coverage.
Very, very beautiful location. Nonetheless. They're
It's
both,
probably
of course,
only
taking their time, and it's a pretty important round. You don't want to make any big mistakes, and you never know. Maybe there's something that... We've seen it so many times before, where one locks in, and the split second later, you see him, like, hands to the head and go, oh no, I missed something crucial. I mean, the Blinky game earlier today is a pretty good reminder of that. So if you have the time, and if you're not in a hurry to get it, knowing that it's a country like Switzerland, it's not going to be too wild anyway.
Okay,
if you do actually go into France, or is it border?
It's the border. As I said, it looked like Locam, but it was Gen 2 coverage. So, yeah, we all did the same mistake as well. Both of them going kind of Switzerland. But they were also not sure. And we're going to be back in Russia, it seems.
Is this game, are you calling it? Or is it easy?
I mean, this looks like a round somebody could know. I don't know it personally. I'm very much not liking to learn Russia.
Well, I mean, I feel like you kind of have to. If you want to play at this level anyway, there's only so much you can go, no, I don't want to do it. And that's learning Denmark, because who cares, right? But here we are, Stefan, the first one to look at the map. Ooh,
he goes Bratsk. Bratsk has red soil and cracked pavement, but usually it's not rainy there. I don't know if that's really true, but yeah, we're definitely gonna see the game here, I think.
Yep. 4 times multiplier, big country, and quite a bit of distance in between the two. Yanik is way further west, continuously moving even further towards the west. We'll see if he's going to get it. It's going to be a 2-1 regardless. One of these two will come out victorious, and it's going to be Stefan. Staying true to the scripts. Yanik looks dominant and moving, but he strikes back and makes it a 2-1.
Yeah, seems like winning and moving is not the play if you want to take the 2 points here. It's just not the move, guys. It's just not.
Don't win moving. Just Alt F4 and then come back and no move. That way you win the whole series.
Yeah,
Bummer for Yanik. You can see the frustration on his face there as well. Because, I mean, again, he had moving. And he, for a bit, looked pretty decent in no move. But then Stefan just turned on the thrusters.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on today, but that's how every single game is panning out to. Just, you know, dominant and moving. Then the first 6 rounds and no move, also dominant. And then Stefan just strikes back with an insane guess. And the game is just over. So
it's tough.
And NPC as well, yeah.
Yet another NPC, yet another costly one of that, and a lot of Russia. I feel like in this one in particular, a tricky one, but hey, at least it lasted us longer than 2 rounds. So there is that.
True.
Any big rounds that stood out to you in this matchup that you kind of want to go over as calling the deciding one outside, of course, of this very final one?
I mean, the decider was pretty much who knows Russia there, and in the first round, I was clueless, they were clueless.
I was clueless too because I thought someone won it, so...
Both in the right country in that round, and the closest one was like 3,000 kilometers, so you can make whatever out of that if you want to. And then the second Russia, it's just if you know a type of location again, and that's how Russia really waters down to sometimes.
Yeah.
If you like it or not, it is what it is, and you have to know it.
A tricky game, but nonetheless a game that Stefan can now say, "Oof, we got that one out of the way. Let's GG and go next." As we two go next, we go Blinky once again versus Clement. Now, coming into the day, I looked at this matchup and I would say, you know what? Clement, I like you. You're Danish, you're my man, but you're up against Blinky. He's unbeatable. But Spaghet proved that the man, the myth, the Blinky himself is in fact not mortal. So maybe Clement can put together a good streak here, get something going. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking Blinky is doing Blinky stuff because I feel like he found the town.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah, let's see how...
He did what again?
He found the town, but the wrong one.
Ah, yes, correct. I do that all the time. I always find the road. It's just not always the actual road, exactly. But hey, comes out victorious here. Blinky, of course, want to wipe off and completely forget the game that he had earlier against Spaghet, where he managed to come out victorious. Spaghet, that is. And now Clement in for, I mean, if not the toughest challenge, then one of the toughest challenge of his World League matchups.
Yeah, I mean, Blinky doing a mistake once happens, but will he do a second one? I wouldn't really count on it. Wouldn't really count on it. Maybe he will even play better.
Yeah.
Now that he,
A lot of info to be had on the street sign there for Blinky, but not enough apparently to fully figure out the exact city. Clement is looking towards Malaga. Big Danish community in Malaga, as a matter of fact. I never knew this, but then I was there, and there was apparently Danish plumbers and Danish carpenters and everything in Denmark. They even had their own newsletter in Malaga specifically. Very odd to me, but maybe that's what's keeping Clement there.
And it seems like Blinky found something again. Maybe he found it this time.
Well,
he did.
And this is the fun thing, right? Because yes, I mean, Clement is off, but normally when you're 4 kilometers away from location, you win those rounds. But against Blinky, it just ain't that easy.
Not that easy, but really nice find by Clement there in the last seconds, pretty much.
Definitely. To stay afloat. Only down a bit now as he turns on the thrusters, turns the pacing of this game. We'll see if he found something to work with.
Yeah, I mean, it's a free newfie, really. Now it's just about where can you find anything. Blinky found some type of name, but I don't know if that's really a place name or not.
It was GG go next. Good thing for Clement is that he got some points off of Blinky with it. And now we go into round number 4. Increasing those multipliers, keeping everything that much more interesting here as we go to... Tell me. I was gonna say... No, I'm not gonna say anything.
Looks like Brazil here with the Brazil pole.
And I'm very glad I didn't say anything.
We found... town name? I don't know what he sees. Oh, it says Sierra. Quelche is the town name, so...
They've
I
both
believe
seen
he found it.
But does Clement know? That's a plonk if I've seen one. Or hedge right in the middle. Not really wanting to commit too much to any edge of the region. And therefore, minimal damage also being done. But hey, I mean, it's still Brazil. And with the multipliers, still some damage coming through.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty even right now, but Clement definitely has to, keep it up, because one mistake is all Blinky really needs.
True.
Win the game.
True. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, interesting here, because it looked more... I mean, it is Indonesia, and it looked more western, but we have an East Nusa Pole, which you also get on Lombok, so they will both go to Lombok, which I really like. Especially with the fields. Looks a bit more touristy. So yeah, shouldn't see anything big here.
Practically in the same city now as well, if Clement opts to lock in this exact spot. Opts to go a bit further towards the east, but right next to Lombok Airport is where we are going. And little damage once again. I mean, Clement, yes, I mean, he might not be a world champion, but keeping it pretty close with Blinky here.
Yeah, so far so good. But now we get into those bigger countries where bigger mistakes are possible. No front plate here. And both are kind of hunting for maybe area codes. Or, okay, Blinky does not need an area code. He just thinks, okay, it looks like Phoenix.
If you know your US politicians, there was a go vote sign there. Maybe he does.
Ooh,
maybe he doesn't.
County sign. I don't know where Pinal County is, personally, but...
Seems like Blinky does. Or maybe thinks he does. We'll see now if Clement can follow suit. He's gonna go to New Mexico, Albuquerque, where he's going down south as well now off of it. It was in and around Phoenix, out on the outskirts, and 4,000 damage. That's one of those big hits that you do not wish to have happen when you're up against Blinky.
Yeah, Blinky basically getting it without any big information there. And Clement can be lucky to stay alive there.
Yet another Oman. Very specifically down on the southern road.
What a risky guess. I mean, he has to really know something here. I kind of like his guess. It definitely looks like that down there, and that's also where Blinky is going.
Oh, is Blinky going further north? Oh, he's swapping again. Nope, going back last second. That's going to keep him closer. Nice guessing on the side of Clement to stay afloat, and actually massive damage to follow here. Had he gone further north, that could have been, if not game, then close. There two now sat just 1,100 points apart.
Yeah, we said Blinky didn't lose that many moving games so far, but now he's close to, you know, almost losing again. It seems like he found something. It says Kichamatan Baru, which would be the town name. I've heard of that before, but I don't know why. Seems familiar, but I'm not sure.
This is where I read Nippon and I instantly go Japan. No, I'm kidding. It's not true, because it does say both Indonesia. Does he have it? He does have it too. They're close, but not quite. Distance in between him and Blinky just does not make mistakes on these ones, and it's going to be enough to take down Clement. Great round for Blinky. Back in form in moving. It did go down to 2,000 health, so clearly not immortal. But good game for him nonetheless. But still, I mean, for Clement, I think, considering the opposition you're up against here, Sigyn, correct me if you think I'm wrong, but Clement can be pretty satisfied with what he fought with there.
Yeah, I think so too. And especially you could see Blinky, after he won, he was not like, yes, I won. He was like, what did I just do? That was a bad game. That's kind of the Blinky mentality he's in. It's not about winning for him, it's about playing well. If he plays well, he's going to be happy. If he plays bad and still wins, he's not going to be happy still.
Exactly. Took 4,000 damage that game against other opponents. That could have maybe been GG, but not in this case, as we head to Argentina here in the first round of game 2.
Ooh, I may have seen this coverage. I'm just going to call something really random.
Go for it, bro.
I'm just going to call the Entre Rios Corrientes border, which is pretty far north, and this doesn't really look north, but I've seen fire coverage, maybe.
So what you're saying is this is bait.
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see if it is.
No, it's not there.
It's far north, though. At least further north than both of them were. And a big 1,000 round run damage done to Blinky as Clement tries to backtrack. You know what? Again, we have a script that we have to follow. Blinky won moving. I'm just saying. Clement, is he going to 2-1 the world champ?
Well, it's not going to be easy. Let me tell you that.
Maybe the script is to be broken now. Or maybe not. Maybe Clement has something up his sleeve. Ready to bring home this one.
Ooh, that is a green marker, so we should be in Ontario. Shouldn't be Quebec. And Blinky is going Ontario. Ooh, it's actually Quebec. Okay. Maybe it's blue instead of green.
Well,
I'm just yapping, but nice guess by Clement.
That's why we're here and they're there. Because we are just yapping. That's what it is.
Also, I don't feel bad making the same mistake as Blinky. So
fair enough. Ooh,
be okay.
Clement insta-sending it up towards northern Norway. Seems like Blinky's gonna, you know, maybe he'll get up there. It's just taking his due time. When you give him 15 seconds to work with, might as well make use of them. He's trying to 5k this. I think he's trying to this one. You have the time to. Might as well do it. That's Clement. Well, he sent it early, but give Blinky,
what is this guy doing?
Give Blinky 15 seconds and he will make you regret it. 5k come through from the world champ. What an effort.
I mean, Clement guessed in like 2 seconds, and Blinky is still managing to 5k that. Yeah.
Insane. It was the one fjord that there is in Norway. That's why he knew.
True.
Yep.
Just that one road.
Because there aren't like a trillion of those up there. Well, we're going down towards the southern part of Japan, it seems. And Blinky once again closer. Clement needs to, I don't know, do whatever he has to do in order to mentally reset this one. It's still very winnable in terms of point standings, but we have seen it before. When Blinky gets warm, you can see him nodding his head now, feeling it. When he gets into the groove, he's very hard to throw off.
Yeah, and I'm also very impressed by the guess in Japan. He did not only get the, region down in Kyushu, but he also got the prefecture right, and I don't know how he did it, so... And it's not like he went middle, he went pretty far south in it. And
Clement was looking Nairobi initially, but went off, and now Blinky is just, heading home after home after home.
on it, and on it again 3 times in a row, pretty much.
He is tanking through the health bar of Clement, who really wants to stop this train from going all the way to the final station. Vancouver, or west thereof. That's where Blinky is looking in.
Island.
Change of pace now. He's the one to lock it in here.
Yeah, he's probably sure of it just by how it looks. He trusts himself. I mean, after those 3 guesses, I would trust everything.
Oh.
Okay, and we have a... This will be game.
GG. That's it.
GG.
Blinky brings it home. Clement looked good initially. Took Blinky down to 2,000 health and move in, but Blinky struck back. Great game for him. 2-0 victory against Clement, and the world champion is back in form.
No, just a little hiccup there against Spaghet. I mean, you could see he just sensed something. Like he went Alaska and Oregon. He instantly knew, okay, what did I just send? I mean, he looked at the vegetation around him. Those trees are never in Alaska, and he knows it. So, but he shook that off, and now he's back to his form. And the last 4 guesses especially, I don't know if you get 4 better guesses of anyone else. I mean, those were all bang on. So, yeah, good to see him back.
Great game from him. We can see the results of the other matches that have taken place. We have Amarain getting 2-0'd by Consus, your former world champion, and then Lero taking on Anno, winning that one 2-1, and Lenley able to 2-1 against Captain. Captain has been playing really well as of late, been able to climb the leaderboard with very few games played. Still, though, couldn't quite run through Lenley. Our next set of matches are going to be coming up momentarily as V89 and Consus are going to be going up against each other.
Yeah, B89 against Consus. Obviously, Consus the only one left with a flawless, standing so far. Not a single loss on his point. He lost a single moving game so far. I forgot against who, but that just shows how consistent he is in that mode. And after that, it's going to be hard for opponents to beat him if he already wins that moving game every single time. I think he lost against Kratzu, but he won the other 2 game modes, so no loss on Consus' side yet.
We got an exciting set of games coming up, and there's even more GeoGuessr to be played later on in the day. Remember that the World Cup has been announced, and you can get your tickets to come and attend the tournament right now over at geoguessr.com/World Cup. And also, if you subscribe on Twitch, all those money from the subscriptions are going to go directly to the World Cup prize pool. So if you want to help in trying to increase the prize pool for these players to play for in August, make sure to subscribe on Twitch. We are getting this game ready and underway in just a moment. But before that, we're going to go to a quick break. So stick around, get yourself a glass of water, and be ready for this next matchup between B89 and Consus. Thanks, GeoGuessr, for letting me become part of your world so quickly, and that I got a chance to see Blinky lift the trophy after that insane grand final. It was an experience I'll never forget. So now, with 2025 right around the corner, I have an idea.
Now, don't get me wrong, I love Sweden. We've already had the World Cup there twice. GeoGuessr 2025 World Cup. Denmark. So to all you GeoGuessr fans out there, let me show you what Copenhagen has to offer. Fancy architecture. Easy to recognize signs. We have historic buildings. Red roads. A royal family. World-class dining. A super cool theme parks. We got the best beer in the world. presumably. So, when you're done exploring the city, when you've tasted all the varieties of smørrebrød and you've found out the true meaning of hygge, we'll meet here. Where Winston Churchill laid the foundation of what would become the European Union.
Long live the cause of freedom.
Where big-time artists like Rolling Stones, Louis Armstrong and the Beatles have performed. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I welcome you to Copenhagen and the KB Hall, the venue of the 2025 GeoGuessr World Cup Finals. Oh, and there will be a bar.
Welcome back, everyone, from that quick break. We are getting ready for the last set of matches for today's broadcast. Or I should say this broadcast today. There's going to be even more GeoGuessr playing tonight. We'll get a list of all those teams playing after these games are done for. But first, I'm Toby, joined by Siggy. And Siggy, we've had some pretty intense games playing today already. And now we're going up with V89 against Consus. What do you make of that matchup?
I mean, the matchup is basically a clash of playstyles, if you really want to call it that. I mean, you have a very fast guesser on the 89 side, and Consus really takes his time on everything around. So I'm definitely going to be interested to see how Consus will handle the insta-guessing from the 89 side, if he chooses to do that, which I think he will, because how else are you going to beat Consus realistically?
Yeah. Average on 21 seconds. That's got to be some of the lowest that we have in this entire pool of players.
Yeah, I think MK and V89 are battling it out really. Who has the lowest time? And we have Consus probably one of the highest.
Yep. 41. It's definitely up there, but look at that. The win rate goes to show 86% win rate. Give him the time, he will come up victorious, but will it be too much for him? I feel like we've seen Consus before go up against fast players and not really been stressed about having less time to work with, so we'll see. Those extra 15 seconds are going to be enough for him. It's 7th place against 3rd, set 12 points apart. It's a close matchup here. We can see Lindley, also off this win in the previous game against Captain, actually surpassing him now and sitting up in 8th.
Yeah, before the game, they both had the same amount of points. Now, Lindley with 1 point more, really showing that, you know, he wants to be in the World Cup.
Well, we go straight into it. Game number 1 is in our hands. Match number 1 and round number 1 as well. 10 seconds in, V89 hasn't guessed yet. Surprise, but here you go. I say that and instantly goes to Bangladesh.
There you go. I mean, he was just looking around whether there was an address which he could easily read and then, you know, just try to find it. Seems like he gave up.
Consus as well. Opts to go further west, but comes to bite him a bit. Again, I mean, it's round 1, so not too much damage coming through here. Just 300. At that. But are there any things in particular? I mean, we talk playstyles and whatnot. Are there any strengths that you know that V89 has that Consus should be worried about too?
I mean, he should be afraid of just very hard rounds in an NMPZ where V89 just guesses in like 2 seconds, and where other people would just, you know, struggle a bit.
Are we 10K'ing this?
I mean, it's a border crossing.
It's literally the border. Line up the border and you get it. Are we getting our first 10K of the day? Is that what's going to happen here?
I don't know. It's very possible, especially if you put the number on the bridge into account because it gives you the road number.
We'll see. It's moving, but none of them care to move really at all because they got all the info they needed in place. Rather we get locations like this, I feel like. But nonetheless, here we are. Let's see. Oh, it's not going to be a 10K. It is going to be almost 5K. I was going to say it is at least going to be a 5K, but not quite the case either. But there you go, V89, 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah, decent start. I mean, it's only 400 points, so won't really matter. I mean, this round is also just, you could just insta-send here, which he will do.
Northwestern side of Oman. Consus again, of course. I mean, give him 15 seconds to work with. Might as well make use of all of him. If you're going to have players getting close to 5K'ing, you want to be even closer than that. He's going to go up on the northern side as well, a bit further south from where V89 is. We'll see who comes up with a better location. It's going to be Consus, but both of them were off by a bit.
Yeah, I mean, not an easy round. Like, the whole country basically looks the same in those areas. We saw the mountains to the east, but you also get that on that entire stretch. So, not much to do there.
More guessable location now. More info to be had. As they both start maneuvering back and forth into Mexico.
Sign to Torreon and Ciudad Juarez. Very good sign.
This time around, a little change of pace. It's V89 taking more time to look around, but it's Consus to come out victorious. Great round for him here. 2,000 damage done towards V89. That's, I think he felt, I mean, he didn't even take all the time on the clock there in the end. I think V89 felt very comfortable about his northern pick, but it was just off.
No, it was Consus who actually insta-sent because he was very sure of the town, because he was just very fast with the information, and he was like, okay, maybe V89 can't use the information as fast as I can. And, you know, we can see Consus, you know, depending on the round, can switch up the pace as well. And it costs, V89 2,500 points, so definitely paid off.
Big one there. Yet another swing home from Consus. 1,000 points at that, so 3 rounds in, half health gone. It looked good for V89 initially, but now Consus, a former world champion, is starting to strike back.
I mean, yeah, you gave him some time, even in a small country like Israel, and he makes 1,000 points out of that.
Yeah.
That can't feel good on V89's side. You're not going to be happy with that. And again, he's just trying to insta-guess really, because I think Consus can read Thai, at least the abbreviations on the waystones if he finds one, so there's no point in V89 of moving.
We'll see if If Consus finds it, goes even further west than where V89 is, and it's actually going to be the northeastern border. So, off by a bit this time around. Good for V89 that it turns, that his strategy of the quick guesses do come through. Consus simply just not able to find the info in time.
Yeah, Thailand can be very sparse with information, especially in those environments. Now we move into France. I think both of them will try to find a phone code first and foremost. And we have a 0238, so 02 will be northwest or north of Paris. 38, not really sure. Should be something like...
So V89 opts to go west on this one. You have Consus joining him on the southern side of Paris, but it's going to be him closer once again, down towards Orléans. And coming up victorious, actually almost striking all the way home. I did not assume that this was going to be that big of a hit, but indeed it was. And V89 now playing with his back against the wall. Needs to somehow find over 3,000 damage done onto Consus to bring this one in.
I mean, there's just a difference about knowing the first digit in France and knowing the second two. It's just a massive difference. But this time, he found phone code and he knows it's Belém, so this could be massive. If Consus doesn't find this, I think this will be game.
These are the rounds you're hoping for. If you're V89, don't give him the info, don't give him the time to play. It's not going to be the case this time around,
that will be enough. That'll be enough to win the game.
Oh, it is! Just exactly! Just exactly enough. GG on the side of Consus, able to take home the moving round against him. And again, as you're saying, I mean, V89 is trying to pick up the pace here and play things fast, but Consus just, I mean, rock solid.
I think that was as good as an attempt you can get on V89 side because you had the phone code, so you knew the state, and just picking a random city is a good shot. He could have won on that round. I mean,
yeah,
who really knows? So I kind of liked his playstyle in that. Didn't quite pay off, but you're really just trying against Consus, let's be honest.
That's the issue, exactly, when you're up against a guy like that who's been, I mean, grown accustomed to playing against fast-paced players. Those 15 seconds, I mean, that's all he needs most of the time. That's V89, no change to what we saw in the previous one. Gonna play this one quickly as well, with Consus following suit in and around the same area. But further towards the north, it's gonna be Consus out victorious early.
Yep, no big points there. Pretty standard. East Botswana. But now we move into something that Consus will love to see. It's Indonesia. It's one of his best countries he can region guess.
Should you dare to go fast against him? I guess that answers the question.
I mean, the roofs are very Lampung, South Sumatra. Like those like tiled roofs with different different shades of brown and unpaved road. I always get so nervous for Consus.
Yep. The fact that he opens his map with 2 seconds left has me terrified as well, if that's what you were going with.
I mean, if he was from Australia, he's not getting those guesses in. I'm just saying that. If he was from Australia, he will never get a guess in. That is just not possible from there.
Scary stuff. Scary stuff as we now go out into the woods for the first time, I believe, in at least a bit. It's been very urban, what we've been working with so far. Quick throw into Brazil. How do you like that guess?
I like it. I mean, there's a wooden pole, so it could even be RGDS, which is the southernmost state. That's where both players are. It is slightly over the border.
Just exactly over on the other side, but once again around. Gone in favor of the so far flawless Consus here in game number 2. He's won the first one, so V89 needs to take this one home to secure at least any sort of points as we now go wide on into the mountains.
Yeah, we're going to be somewhere in the western US with this pine forest here. Region guessing the west can be pretty tough though. It can be all the way from Colorado to like Idaho, realistically.
I was gonna say, it's a pretty long stretch of mountains going all the way down. So it's only 2.5 times multiplier, nothing over the top, but even still, if you have one guy in the bottom, one guy in the top, that could be GG, as we do have a southern guess coming through from V89.
I mentioned Idaho because that's also a possibility. I thought Cali initially, but we don't have the California lines. So if he is correct, that's a very good guess.
Ooh!
And he is. That might be enough.
He is. Is it going to be enough? No, but a massive hit to Consus.
Massive hit there. Took a risk there, really. Or unless he knew something else in that location.
I have to say massive. because I see chat saying it all the time. I'm
Massive.
still not sure what the meme is, but
Big.
if it's massive
massive.
damage, it's massive damage, man.
Humongous.
Enormous. Yeah, we gotta go full reverb on it too. Japan, it is. Consus closer. Big.
What is
Okay.
that? What is that guess?
Consus going, V89, you think you're the only one who can play fast? I'll join you, bro.
Okay.
Okay, I guess. Just humble him a little bit on that one.
We're back in a big country, US here again. So we could see the game going either way here. I don't know what
Yeah.
I'm looking at.
Looking at trees, looking at roads, looking at
I'm just
houses
gonna
and
call
cars.
Tennessee.
Then I'm gonna say Nebraska. I have no clue.
Nebraska.
I don't know.
I mean, if this is Nebraska, you're the best player alive.
That does tend to be the case.
Ooh, we have a Tennessee guess by V89. I like it, I like it.
I'm
Kinda
gonna change my
interesting.
guess to Georgia. I'll get my revenge on Georgia that we got in the first game of the day.
Okay.
It's probably gonna be incorrect as well, but
Who
nonetheless,
knows?
we gotta commit to something. And so does Consus. Gets the guess, and is it Arkansas?
Cheeky Arkansas there.
Cheeky little Arkansas. And, well, I mean, minimal damage done. Both players equally far apart from the location. As we now go into the woods once more. Oh, you just exactly have the bullets there in the distance.
Well, it is Latvia Bollards and we have Latvia Cam. Real and true meta. It's fake, but if it's just...
Would you have
looks-
gone Latvia here if you hadn't had those bullets?
Yes.
Okay, of course you would. You have to say
But
yes.
just because the camera's so overexposed.
Ah.
But are those actually Latvia Bollards? Because they look round, so it might be Estonia.
Uh-oh.
But the
Well, in
camera...
first,
The camera... Does the camera lie, though?
V89 locks in north. Let's see if Consus is to follow. He's up towards Estonia as well, right on the border. Maybe a bit of a hedge between the two. But nope, it is going to be Estonia. And once again, they're both going to be very close to one another. But a big win here for Consus. Oh, sorry, for V89, sending Consus down to just over 700 health.
Yeah, Consus only a few rounds left here. I imagine it is
Yeah.
3 rounds. Yes, 3 rounds left for him. But that is plenty, especially with the multiplier and a
Oh,
country
yeah.
like Turkey here. Which most people are not the best at region guessing. Only a few people really know how to region guess. And I have no clue what this is.
Well, if you don't, maybe there's a world where they don't either. Izmir is where V89 is hovering. You know that it's a tricky round when he's taking 30 seconds on the clock before getting his guess in. Consus may be surprised by the fact that he's actually getting this much time to work with. As, again, 20 seconds on the clock. Neither of the two locking in anything just yet. This could be the game round. And for V89, if he does not win here, that's a 2-0 for Consus, and he moves on.
Yeah, I mean... I don't know what this is.
There you go, north side of Izmir. That's where V89 is
We
locking
have
in.
2 very different guesses,
Consus, I mean,
definitely.
this is going to be game regardless.
Last second switch to Izmir as well. And what a switch. What a switch by Consus here. Last second.
He likes to keep it close, that's for sure.
Holy.
Wow. Consus from the very southern border to flicking it up to the western coast. But hey, we're not out of trouble yet. There's only 2 rounds left to play, and you still need to catch up to V89, who's at 1,800 points ahead.
Yeah, definitely not a good round for Consus here. It's just a random suburban Portugal location. And Portugal, again, one of those countries where big enough for Consus to lose. But I kind of like the Lisbon guess. Maybe it's just downtown Lisbon. It's
A
hilly
rare
there, so...
Portugal, too. I think that's the first Portugal I've casted in all of the World League matches I've seen. Consus on point. I mean, what a turnaround. What an incredible turnaround. Not enough to
Okay.
be game, though, and now we're tying up. The script was written right for round 10 with 320 points in between. And please go Denmark. Oh, that's where the Denmark rounds actually could matter. But nope, not to be.
Yeah, but we get a big country regardless. Now the
Do we
question
need a
is-
big country in this? I feel like these are the rounds where we deserve the small
my thought was
countries.
this was Vancouver. Like we are just
Okay.
southeast of Vancouver. It kind of looks like this. We also have a transformer facing the road, which also would make sense. So I wonder if this is like southeast of Vancouver. And if it's actually there and both people get it, then we are literally talking about who just gets a bit close on this. And I really like the 89s. That's exactly what I thought. Because we also had a mountain northeast. Could kind of see it. And
yeah, it's out in the distance. He locks in. 15 seconds to work with the Consus. He's hovering.
Oh my god,
he's
both are going there.
They're up there. They're a couple of roads apart. And with 5.5 times multipliers, that could be all that's needed. They're close. They're a bit further west. Consus is going to be closer. But is it going to be enough?
It is
there you
enough
go.
to win the game.
He wins it. He was ahead by a bit already. And he takes it home 2-0. But what a valiant effort from V89 to try and make that one happen. Goes to show, even when it's a 100-point hit, 200-point hit, we say, small damage doesn't matter. Well, when it goes down to round 10, all the damage ends up mattering by quite a margin.
Nah, but shoutouts to V89 still. He made huge efforts in both game modes, it has to be said. Both game modes, very well played by him. But Consus, just, I don't know how he does it. He's just always there when he needs to be. Like, he makes one big mistake in a no-move game and then instantly just strikes back. Big confidence switch in the turkey round. I don't know how you have the confidence to switch last second across the whole country, basically. Very insane play. Also, the last round, as I said, it just comes down to a few points. It is what it is.
It definitely is what it is. And this one, I mean, for Consus, it's one of those where on paper you say 2-0, no losses, GG, go next, I'll take my 3 points. But if you go back and break down the match, it was like, this was a little bit closer than what he probably would have wanted it to be, because not clean at all. And while V89 didn't end up winning, there was definitely rounds where I feel like his pacing got the better of Consus. But that's by the by, that's game done for now. We go into Stran versus Harrier. Anything in particular that you want to say coming into this matchup? We've seen Stran play today already. So what are your thoughts going into this one, Siggy?
Well, a month ago, I would have probably picked Stran here, definitely. But the amount of dedication and just grind Harrier has put into this game in the last few, I should say, months, probably. I mean, he's sometimes streaming on Twitch, just learning US area codes for hours and hours on end. And he does that for a lot of countries. And let me say it paid off so far. He's in a pretty good spot in the standings. So is Stran. And I think the stats should definitely reflect that. It's going to be close.
62% win rate for Stran with a 32nd time average guessing. So kind of in the middle seat in terms of fast and slow pacing on his guesses. And same thing here for Harrier. They're very, very close on their statistics. And I mean, as you can see, win percentage Stran's favor. But outside of that, it's pretty much identical.
Yeah, we see Harrier in 11th place. The cutoff for the World Cup is at 12th place.
If Stran 2-0s this one, they're tied.
Wait, what? Okay, yeah, 10 places
so
in a win. That's crazy.
That's actually insane. Well, I mean, we saw Stran lose moving in his previous matchup, but still come out swinging with a 2-1 reverse sweep, and we'll see now if that's going to be the same case here, if Harrier can get off to a good start.
Yeah, I have Harrier definitely winning the moving game. We also have a very special car here. This is a car you only get in a few cities in West Bank, especially like Ramallah and Jerusalem. Also, it says Free Palestine. Okay. Does it say? Why is there a Brazil flag there?
Brazil baited. Don't go Brazil, guys. It's a bait. It's a bait.
Why is there a Brazil flag? And
both going towards Jerusalem. It was just on the southern side, so Stran the first one to strike, but a small one at that. 56 damage to kick off this game. As we take out straight into round number 2.
Yeah, not always you spawn in the birthplace of Jesus Christ himself in Bethlehem. Just something that happens in GeoGuessr.
True. That is true. I didn't see him anywhere, but I believe he was definitely there in spirit.
Yeah, I think he left Earth after TikTok got banned.
True.
I mean, after TikTok got banned in the US, what is there to do, really?
Especially if you're Jesus, right?
Yeah.
Might as well just stop right there. Good street sign for Stran. Could potentially give him the, not only the road, but indicator there as well.
Yeah, now it's just a question who knows their CA roads. Does CA stand for Catalonia?
Or does it stand for California? I'm having too much fun today. I'm
just
sorry.
I'm just
I'll
gonna
wheel
say
it back.
no.
I'll wheel it back. I'm the devil on the shoulder. You can be the angel on the other.
Usually it's the other way around. Usually, I mean, if you can ask my teachers.
Like the fact
Probably
that we changed the pace on that one too. They're both looking towards Andorra. Initially, ended up going further west. The well, I mean, it should have gone even further west than that, I suppose. As yet another hit comes through. Stefan out victorious here, 1,200 points up early.
Yeah, I learned that playing GeoGuessr in retrospect is very easy, you know? They had everything, just 5k every location. In retrospect, I know everything.
Ooh. Yeah, it's very easy playing this game in hindsight, I suppose.
Yeah, in hindsight, you just 5k every location. It's
that is
kind of
true.
easy.
That would make you a pretty decent player. But then again, if I could travel back in time, that's probably... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's what I would be committing myself to at that point. But street signs to be found. But are they street signs that these guys can really use for anything?
I mean, those place names are big-ish. I've heard of Kolari. Yeah, it is on the Sweden border.
This is the round of V89 hopes that he would have.
Yeah, he would like this round. But Harrier is miles off right now. We are talking about 3,000 points here.
2 times multiplying much, but in big countries like this, it can definitely hurt.
Yeah, because it doesn't look typical. On these switches even more south, that will hurt a lot.
Ooh, big loss on that one. 500 plus kilometers off, 3,000 damage at that. Happy that this wasn't just 1 or 2 rounds later down the line. That could have been game. But Stefan maintaining his flawless, able to sit solid at 6k still as we go to Germany.
Into the beautiful country of Germany here.
Ah, yes.
We love to see it. Now, Germany urban can be quite hard. Because, it says Nuremberg. That's a big
so
city.
Difficult, bro.
Well, it's spelled differently on the map, so you have
but
to
remember,
make...
guys, it's a car. Don't get baited. Maybe it drove to Hamburg.
Nah, it's on a work vehicle, so I would definitely trust it.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine. Well, even if it's not the city itself, it's still in the nearby vicinity. And that's going to be enough to strike back. Nice info found there by Harrier. He pretty much just went 1 step up, did a 180, and went, yep, that's Nuremberg, let's go.
Yeah, in urban areas it can be quite random which panel you get to and what information is available in that panorama. So, and we have good information here. Damage on the sign. Now the question is, do these players know where that is?
Well, if not, then they'll know by the end of this round. And then they'll say, like you did before, oh, if I could just play that round again, I'd win. So let's see here. 40 seconds left to play, neither of whom locked in yet. I say that, but now they both do pretty much simultaneously. And if that was the question of whether or not they knew where it was, it seems to me like they did.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't know where it was, but they knew the kind of region it was in, maybe, and then just scanned for it. So, both no points there.
Kilometer and a half, yeah, no, it's since around 6 now, and maybe here we get a little bit more on the damage meter.
Well, Cambodia is pretty hard to find information if you don't know how to read Khmer. Probably one of the hardest countries. You really just need a waystone. That's the only way I5K camber around, really.
Let's see if they can get that lucky. 35 seconds left to work with, both still sending it down the street. Looking for crucial information, whether it be road intel or maybe some rare city intel in Western text.
Western text, well said. Yeah, I mean, Stefan's road looks way better. I mean, his road is paved. Harrier's on a dirt track right now, so if anyone finds any information, it's gonna be Stefan.
Well, Cambodia is a given. Are they both just gonna send it center?
I mean, it looks like it's just the O of Cambodia.
Yeah. Let's go middle. Let's go O. Could have gone further. He's got some more points, but I think both of them are going to be pretty satisfied with it not being any harder than it was. Issue is, Harrier don't really have a whole lot of points to play with right now, and that's half of what he had remaining written off.
Yeah, and you saw the ping by Stefan. He would have won the game on the spot because he was trying to switch that far up, and now a round that Harrier is not going to be happy to see. We're going to be in Sri Lanka with Locan, with the Poles. And again, Sri Lanka not big enough for Harrier to win, but big enough for him to lose. The worst type of country you can get, and it looks like Stefan has found information as well.
Big info on that one too, if you know some of the cities around here.
It looks very northern, I agree.
Yeah. Scanning for cities. Now he has the same sign, though. So info equal. Now it's just a matter of who puts it to use the best.
Yeah, it said the town name like Tailamanya Pier or something, but I don't know where that is.
Well, regardless, if they're both in the, around the same region, you have to imagine that damage is going to be minimal. Even with 4 times multiplier, Harrier could stay afloat. But 750 health, that's only a couple of kilometers apart, you feel like, and that's in it for
Oh, it says
Stran,
he found a town, he found a town.
The peninsula.
He found the town in the last second.
What? 34 meters over 5k to win it.
No,
No,
not enough.
wait, no, never
Not
mind.
enough.
It's
Harrier
not
was
enough.
very close.
He stays in. Wow. Imagine that. You get that 5k and somehow Harrier is right next to you still. What a round, though. Great job by Stran, but Harrier, well, 2 more rounds. Make that 3 left to work with 118 health. You need something big going, mate.
Well, it is Kenya. It is technically big enough for Harrier to win, but you know, Stran is not taking any chances here. He's trying to find a sign, and usually signs in Kenya are very helpful. They say PO box and then the nearest city or district. Okay.
In sheep meta coming through. Nope, he's gonna continue moving.
I mean, the default guess would be just western, near the lake, but it could always be near Nairobi, and then you're gonna be cooked.
You'd like to think that Stran, I mean, since this most likely isn't very border of the country-esque, that he can play it somewhat safe here. I mean, what are the odds that he's going to lose 4,000 in this round, even if Harrier goes edge?
I mean, not very high, but again, Harrier can't win here. He can only lose. But he's gonna stay
The thing
alive.
for him is, yeah, he'll stay alive. Minimal damage come through, but it's him getting yet another chance of maybe a big country, maybe something where he can hit home. Is there any countries in particular that Harrier is an expert in that you think if he gets this, he wins against Stran?
I don't know. I would be happy for him to get maybe US area codes he learned.
True.
That would be maybe something, but this is definitely not the US. Let me tell you, we're gonna be in Cambodia once again.
Oh, wow. Double Cambo rounds.
Double Cambo, and can you find information here? It looks like you're just stuck in this thing and can't get out.
Oh, he can't click out. Maybe here? Click. There you go. He's out on the road. But Stran couldn't get there. He's stuck on the dirt roads. No, now he's out as well. Okay.
Okay,
good enough.
They're both out. It's actually kind of insane how much happened in Cambodia if you compare the new... Oh, and he found a waystone.
He got one.
I didn't see what it says, but this could be good for Harrier to stay alive at least.
And I think Stran actually skipped it, but he might have found something else because he's starting to line up roads now too.
Number 53. This is somewhere in the middle.
5 seconds.
West. I don't know.
Harrier got 118 left to work with. Let's see if he can get it. They're not on top of each other, but Harrier is going to be closer once again, but still, damage is minimal. I mean, considering that we have 5 times multipliers, and now you need to catch up 2,800 health to Stran.
It is possible. It is possible.
Definitely
is.
is.
Thailand, which is definitely possible. Now, if Harrier finds...
Oh, big info. They both have it, though.
No, these town names are never findable. You can forget it already. Thailand, one of the worst countries when you get signs like that.
Who's the best Thai player? I mean, in terms of Thai information.
Oh, yeah, there is one guy from... I forgot his name. I'll check out his name real quick.
Yeah.
I know which map.
Gotta give a little
he's good
shout
on.
out to Thailand experts.
Yeah, let's see his name.
You'd imagine that the player from Thailand would be the Thai expert.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
Okay, it seems like he changed his name on GeoGuessr.
Fair
His
enough.
name is Just a 7.
There you go.
And he's from Vietnam, apparently. And I think it's the right one because Rainbolt is friend with him. So makes sense. Just shout out to 7. I think his name was something with a K.
No maps open just yet. 5 seconds left to work with this. I mean, it's going to be ascended last second. And for how do you get this amount of points? You have to go edge. You have to go risky. And it's not going to be enough. Harrier ends up losing it. They're both speeding down the road to get info. None of them could find useful one at that. And Harrier simply took too much damage early on to bring it home.
Yeah, I think considering the whole game, very deserved win by Stran. Harrier definitely made it, exciting for us to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Just by staying alive for so long.
Too. I thought he had him, but not quite the case as we now go into no move.
No move. No more worrying about moving here.
North side Dubai. That's where Harrier is going. Stran is instantly there to follow.
Yeah, you know, again, around technically both could line up. It's going to be minimal points, regardless.
Are we getting a little 10k to start the round?
I don't think so. There's too much coast to scan. It would be a bit too much.
A cheeky 10k to start off game number 2 here.
I think we don't see a single 5k here.
Yeah, no, probably not. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe one
seem
found
like
it.
anyone found it.
Nah, it doesn't look like it. And nope, it was in fact further north. Harrier was up there a bit, but then went further back down the coastline. Minimal damage coming through here to kick off game number 2 as we leave UAE and go into round 2 over in a desert.
In a desert, and it's going to be a desert in the US. Sun is south, so we're going to be in the northern hemisphere. Quick little trick.
This is where they recorded Breaking Bad, I'm calling it.
Well, Breaking Bad was filmed near Albuquerque, Mexico,
It was
New Mexico.
New Mexico.
But this doesn't look like New Mexico.
No.
This looks more like Nevada with, you know, salt lakes. We have a salt lake right next to us.
There you go.
So Nevada or Utah, pretty much the both options. It's Utah.
Utah, just over on the other side of the border. Both of them nearby one another. Stran takes a little damage there, tying things up, or at least close there too. Once again here coming into round number 3.
Well, looks like Europe, but where? It's a good question.
Oh, a little bit of text to work with there potentially. A phone code too, if you know it. Romania is where Harrier is going, at least initially. We'll see if he commits to it or not, but what do you like about that guess?
I think it's Romania as well. And it would make sense to be Western just because the roofs look more Hungarian than, I don't know, the Eastern roofs. So both of them going a similar area here.
Yeah, practically on top of each other, to be fair. And oh wow, Stran, okay, actually finding the city there. Not sure if that was intentional or not, but it works out for him. But once again, little to no damage coming through. But again, I mean, we say that last game was down to what? I think 400 damage between the two that ended up deciding the game. So, you know, we say minimal damage, but what we've seen already could be the deciding factor in who comes out victorious.
So do you want to hear fake meta? Tocantins long grass?
Go for it.
Send it. Slam it multiple times. Might as well. I mean, the golden long grass of Tocantins and Harrier, my goat, sends Tocantins. That's what I like to see.
He has, he's drinking from the same copium cup
Opium?
as Siggy has. We'll see if he gets it off of it, or if he does not. And indeed, he does.
It's not Tocantins, but pretty good guess, you know.
Close enough and massive damage. One stayed over, 3,000 damage with it. And oh no, Stran. You know what happens when you're in moving. I'm just saying. You had it happen yourself earlier today. This is dangerous.
It's dangerous. I mean, I really like Stefan's guess here right now. I don't think the road... Where, okay, Harrier changed more south. That's good. Should be somewhere on that road.
Right in between them. Just 20 kilometers apart. 200 damage coming through. Stran trying to strike back, trying to stack up those multipliers to get a big hit home here in the next round. Make it the 6th. As we go into the open, you got a bit of a chevron there, but not really. What are we looking at here outside of it being southern?
Well, I'm trying to see the antenna, and it looks like a Cambo antenna, so we should be somewhere in the southwestern part. It's the only part that's really covered in smallish hills. The northern border to Thailand has some mountains, or like a mountain ridge, but the rest is pretty flat.
Oh,
So it's either southwest or maybe north, but I think southwest is safer.
That's at least where Stran went. Harrier still hovering the northern border, and it is actually going to be not completely up there, but close there too. As 1,600 damage come through, and Stran now sat hovering at just over 400. Harrier this time around, the one in the lead, trying to maintain what is currently almost a 5,000 point lead. As we go in.
Switzerland.
I was gonna say, oh yeah, low.
Low cam. And Stefan not going to be happy with this because, again, he can only lose. Is it really down there? I didn't think so.
Is this a gamble play? I mean, you
It
know,
is
you're not...
but why would you gamble? I mean, I think...
That's why, I suppose.
I mean, I guess the houses did look Italian, but that is a good, a good chunk of damage.
That's why you do it. He knew something.
Proved me
Down
wrong.
towards Lake Como. And in a round where I don't think either of us, maybe even Harrier, thought there was going to be a lot of points to be had, he ends up losing quite a bit of health off of it regardless.
Yeah, and we move on to New Zealand. I love to see it. And this round looks like it's just close to Auckland. I had to make a guess, but again, I would need copyright and car copium. Wait, or is it? Wait. Hey, I'm gonna shout Great Barrier Island.
I like it. I
That's
like the
east of
commitment.
Auckland.
Harrier is locked in.
Is it Great Barrier Island? No.
Now you have said it. Now you have to commit.
I don't know. It doesn't look
We'll
right.
see if you're right in just about 2 seconds' time.
It is Great Barrier Island. Oh,
You had it.
it is Great Barrier Island.
Well, I mean, the good thing for you is they're both equally far off. Stefan going, oh, frustrating. Because, again, he is so far behind right now. And that could have been a round where even if it doesn't commit to the island itself, going just a bit further north could have really closed up the game. He's still almost 4,000 points down with 2 rounds left to play. He needs something big here. I don't know if this country is going to do it for him. There's a lot of info here, but I don't know if it's useful either, though.
Well, there's a Canada flag and there's a US flag. But what they really want is the phone code. That's really what you want, unless you know these towns, but I highly doubt it.
French text, a lot of signs. Cities there in the distance. You even have one of those BDD road signs, which if you don't know the area you're in, then you're doomed, because they repeat them all over the place. Thank you, France.
Well, the interesting part is we saw Loire, which is a river in France, but it flows all the way from like Grenoble to Orléans to Nantes. So
There you go.
we could be
Harrier.
somewhere along that.
Less to lose, even with 5 times multiplier. It's going to go further east, and it's going to be Harrier closer, which means we are going to go into the dreaded NMPC. 1-1 is the score. Stefan seemed good through the moving game, but couldn't really hit anything on Harrier here in no move. Outside of that Swiss round, I mean, Harrier was pretty much flawless.
Yeah, and I'm pretty, proud. I shouldn't say proud, but I'm very happy with how Harrier played today. I feel like in both modes he has shown that he is pretty good. As we go, I think this is Germany, no?
Even the moving round could have gone either way. So the fact that we're now into NMPC, the roll of a die, a close one at that. And, well, Harrier's looking Austria.
I go Germany here.
Stefan is looking Central Germany.
I don't know, this feels German to me. But it could just be downtown Vienna.
We'll see. See if that's going to be the case or not. Harrier, with his face, his nose practically touching the monitor. Looking to see if anything can send him out of Austria. Looking towards Slovenia now maybe as well. We'll see how far south it's going to be. It is going to be Austria. And you said it, downtown Vienna would have been a pretty good pick.
Yes. I don't know. I feel like it was, for me, it was
today.
literally
Why
between
you're not
either
playing?
Germany or downtown Vienna. Like, there's only 2 places that look like this.
There you go. First round goes in favor of Harrier. Takes 1,000 points off of Stefan as we go into the open.
Yeah, I think there should be Manitoba or Manitoba. Maybe Manitoba.
How about Manitoba?
What about Manitoba, though?
Yeah. Since you've said it 9 times, I agree with you. It's either that or Denmark, and it's probably not Denmark. So
And both players agree with me, so
there you go.
Surely.
Winnipeg is where Stefan is sat. They're both in and around there. It was a bit further towards the north, but close to one another. And honestly, I mean, while I don't think I've ever seen an NPC, not ever, but in this tournament as of late, that went all the way to round 10. So I think the minimal damage is being done here really won't matter all that much. It's those big hits that are going to come through. And Stefan now shaking his head, feeling a bit stirred there.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be...
What is he not liking about this round?
I mean, this round is just easy Java. Not sure why he's shaking his head. Maybe shaking his head for the Austria round.
No, I mean, that could be true. But, maybe he wants bigger, more difficult locations. Maybe he feels like Harrier has some sort of advantage going into Indonesia. I'm not sure.
We have a Sumatra palm, and that's why both go Sumatra. And it ends up being Sumatra.
Both close to one another again, but yet again a round where Harrier is just that much closer. It's a death by 1,000 cuts right now as he continues hitting and hits every time.
I'd slam it in Finland. Let's get over with.
GG go next. Is it the bullet or what sent you Finland? Oh, sorry, bullet. Is it
The
hole?
unpaved roads, how it looks, I don't know.
Finland, only country with unpaved roads confirmed.
Yeah, they have to evolve to be like Sweden one day.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And it is, in fact, in Finland. Will GG go next on that one as we take it into game number 5. Again, a lot of these NPC rounds have come to an end very quickly with maybe some more baity locations. But so far, this one has taken us through to round 5. This one, though, could be difficult, at least from how I see it. What are you thinking, Siggy?
So, I mean, the region in Russia should be easy. It's Gen 4 Winter, which is only in the west. It looks like Shakti or Rostov-on-Don to me. And that is exactly where Harrier is. I really like his guess. He's in Rostov-on-Don. I really like that guess. But again, I'm bad at Russia, so maybe if I say something is a good guess, maybe it's a bad guess.
It's the complete opposite. We're on the northern shore. Let's see. We'll see. 28 seconds. Neither of these guys willing to commit early on, of course. Extra points on the line if you come up victorious in this one. Both of them are guaranteed 1 point off of this matchup in the World League standings. But
Harrier is eyeing the south as well, though. He's thinking about switching.
Yeah, Stran went down towards the Georgian border. Didn't commit fully to it, but it was further north.
Oh, way more north than I thought, than they thought. That's 3k points still.
See, Harry, a little sigh of relief there, knowing that, I mean, had Stran a bit closer, or on top, that could have pretty much been game with the distance that he had to the target. As we now go out into the open once more.
Yeah, no, what am I seeing here? My first thought was Argentina, like west of Cordoba. Because we're looking east and we're looking onto a ridge. This could be like the ridge that we see in like Cordoba. And that is exactly where they both are in the same town right now, in San Juan.
In before 5k. Come on, Stran, you got 7 seconds, my man. You can do this.
Not the easiest lineup.
I mean, you know what? I'll take it. Considering that they're out in the hills east of the same city. This is as 5k-able as we get a location like that, I feel like.
Yeah, but still, Harrier, a very good guess as well.
Definitely.
Also, Arnold, that's what you have to be. You have to always be on that.
Good on both sides. We got a street sign up there on the right side with its back turned. What are we thinking, South Africa?
We should be somewhere in the southwest of Africa. This looks like the Cape region with the eucalyptus and the bigger hills. Now, the question is, I kind of want to go closer to Cape Town, but it could also be where Harrier is right now, towards like Port Elizabeth. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name that is on screen. Again. Yeah, it's pretty hard to region guess the southern part there.
Further towards the north it was. But, I mean, again, it's the small points here. And for Stran right now, coming into round 8, he really needs to start chipping some of that health bar off on Harrier if he wants to have a chance to bring it home. We said it coming into it. If you win moving, you might go out 1-2. And so far, it looks like Harrier is going to bring this one home. If, that is, he can take out the final 1800 health on Stran.
Yeah, pretty standard round here. I kind of like Stran's guess here. It could also just be just north of Mount Kenya, for all I know. The question is, will Stran have the courage to commit? Because if he is wrong, he instantly loses the game. Exactly. Because, I mean, if he either has the road or he loses the game. It's a gamble. And does he have the confidence? Does he have the confidence?
Thinking it over. Does he go further south? Does he commit to it? He commits and it's wrong! And that should be game 4.5 times multiplier. And yes, in fact, it will be 2-1. Harrier turns it around and brings it home.
Yeah, turns it around again. Again, moving is overrated. Why win moving when you're going to lose the entire 2 games after that? I mean, you're getting 1 point, but at what cost? You're losing out on a single point after that. So, yeah.
That really has been the tale for today outside of, I suppose, 1 or 2 specific matchups. It's been pretty wild how momentums have shifted in the games today, and with Harrier winning now as well.
Yep. Literally. I mean, and The unfortunate part for Stefan is that we get him in an interview right now. It would have been nicer to have him on a win, because he would have been maybe more talkative, you know, but...
Yeah, I mean, I feel like even in losing situations, there's a lot for us to take away. There's a lot for him, obviously, to take away from games like that. And that's oftentimes where you get the best answers, because you're looking at a player who's obviously instantly his mind goes to what could I have done to do differently in this game? How could I have won rounds that I didn't? It's going to be interesting to hear from him in just a short moment, as I believe we will see, yes, here we see the leaderboards, the matches that took place. Here as well as Clement took on Mada, able to get himself a 2-1 win there, and Yanik losing 2-0 to Spaghet. So Spaghet really having himself a great day today.
Yeah, I mean, Spaghet beating Blinky and Yanik, he'll be happy with that, and maybe, you know, climb those rankings. He was pretty far down, but I imagine he might be like, you know, placed 22 now or 25, and that's already a big improvement.
Solid 6-point day. He'll be well satisfied with that. Hopefully he can keep that momentum going on into next week's matches here as well. But overall, I feel like today's games have been incredibly interesting. I mean, especially starting up with a 2-1. I mean, Spaghet over Blinky. That was absurd. And then Trish to Sheena, good matchup there as well. Flyme Anna went all the way down to the very, kind of final moments. I feel like a lot of them just took us all the way down with insane momentum swings throughout.
Yeah, sometimes all you need, you know, is just one good guess in a no-move game on a high multiplier, then just turn around the whole game. Close out the NMPZ as well. And funny how that happened so often today.
It's definitely been a great matchup. Now let's take a look at the standings and see how these matches have shaken up the leaderboard. Blinky has overtaken first place from Rado alongside Consus, but they of course have played Blinky has played one more match. So if Rado gets a win, he'll be right back up there. Lindley and Harrier as well, joining forces at 31 points in 8th and 9th respectively. And then down further towards the bottom, because these Spaghet, as you were saying, Siggy, he too has flown up the leaderboard by quite a margin.
Yeah, big step for him, and big step also for Anu. So both Japanese players moving up, Sheena as well. I mean, it's always a bit biased because not everyone is playing in the same time slot. So, you know, technically, if you win a single point, you might move up regardless of how your opponents did or how the neighbors did. But yeah, as we can see, Blinky, Consus, and RC are just running away with it. There's a huge gap between them and like MK Finbar. It's getting quite apparent.
Top three, unless if they, and we just cannot expect that to happen. Yes, I mean, Blinky loses against Spaghet earlier today, but we can't expect that to happen on repeat to an extent where players that are outside top 3 will realistically catch up. I know there's still 11 weeks left to play, and of course a lot of players today that haven't played yet, but even with that catch up now is looking, if not impossible, then close there too.
Yeah, I think the most interesting matches will still be Consus playing Blinky and RC, because they're pretty far down the road still. They're in week 14 and 18, I think I checked. So it's going to be interesting to see whether Consus can stay on that flawless until then, because I think it's easier for him, you know, against opponents where he knows he's better, but he knows he had a pretty tough time in the World Cup against Blinky, and Blinky really showed him, hey, I know you're the Dutch destroyer, but I'm Blinky, okay? So calm down.
So if this was week 21 and we screenshot this leaderboard, we ended right here, what would be the biggest surprise to you, if any at all?
I mean, it's just unfair because of some matches played. I think Armani will not be this far down on the leaderboard at the end. I just don't see that happening. Even though he's like quite at a disadvantage just by how the league is set up against NMPZ only players. But that's just how it is. You have to be good at every mode. But also Kratsu this far down would be weird. Trichter as well. Debray, Eman. I feel like there's going to be some big shifts for these players that have not played as many games as the top 12.
And that's the thing, right? I mean, look at this. 27th, where Spaghet is currently set at 24 points. One win. 3 points would boot him into 16th. Or at least a tie there. It's, I mean, and that's the funny thing. When you have the top players sponging up the amount of points that they do here, or soaking up the amount of points they do, it leaves everyone else so close. So yes, while top 3 might already be guaranteed in terms of the players that are going to be up there, obviously, in between those 3, it can end in multiple ways. For the other teams that are fighting for World Cup spots in August, I mean, that top 12 is completely open.
Yeah,
I mean, 4th through 12th, I suppose.
you also have to take into account that you don't only earn points from the World League, but also from the regional majors, which will take a big part in it. Because in the rules, it states that if you are the winner of the regional, regardless of how far down you are on this leaderboard, you will qualify for the World Cup 100%. So everything is possible until you can qualify last place in the regional for the regionals. You can still make it to the World Cup.
The interesting thing becomes when one of the players that are already in the top 12 then qualifies through a regional, because that means that the 13th place would then be joined in as well.
No, that's something different. That's something different. That's combined points. We'll also have wildcards held and an open major. That will be different.
Safe to say, dear viewers out there, before I end up confusing you, or we end up confusing you too much, there's a hell of a lot of GeoGuessr still left to be played, and just because we have the leaderboard lined up the way that it is right now, does not in any way mean that's how it's going to end up. And if you don't think you've had enough GeoGuessr today already, in just under 4 hours, wherever you are in the world, we will have the second bracket of games that will be played today taking place, so do make sure to come back for that as well. We are just waiting to get this final interview going before we'll round off this broadcast. But to you, I mean, today, Siggy, what has been kind of some of the key moments that stood out to you?
I mean, key moment is definitely Blinky making a mistake. I mean, how often does that happen, really? And instantly realizing his mistake, also a very Blinky thing, I feel like. But even then, after he won, he was like not very happy, because for him, his day is ruined, because a single loss is basically for him like, okay, this shouldn't happen. You know?
I should retire. This is the end of my career. I lost one game. Oh no.
Also, for the broadcast later on, I'm not going to leak who it is, but Jake Lyons will not be casting. It will be another well-known community member. He definitely has been a caster before, maybe in the GeoGuessr scene.
Definitely has been a caster before, maybe.
Yeah.
I like that.
So, and he might be the only person who has a deeper voice in the cast. So
I mean, with how much you're not trying to leak it, you're definitely trying to
say if you know who it is, you know who it is. But if you don't know who it is, you don't know who it is.
That's so valid point. That's usually how information goes. But yeah, no, I think today overall, I mean, obviously now we've had the opportunity to watch back quite a few of these weeks. We've casted 2 weeks ago together as well. I think we're still seeing incredible improvement, and it's weird to say because these players are already absolutely insane. Of course, there are certain players like your Blinky, Consus, Rado, who it's really limited how much better they can get in just like a 1 week perception sort of thing. But for some of the players that are down the leaderboard, we're starting to see them claw back. I mean, Spaghet today climbed up the leaderboard. Flyme as well, able to climb up, even if just by a bit, able to start turning that around. And I think that's one of the things that by the end, I mean, when we come week 21, we're going to be looking back at, like, okay, so halfway through the tournament, what were we looking at? Because technically, I mean, as they say in all other spots, what one team can do in one half, the other team can do it in the other. So while we won't see direct upsets, I still think there's a lot of teams that are still sat further towards the bottom that will be, I mean, as you were alluding to as well, ending within that top 12.
Yeah, and also GeoGuessr is a game where you can make a lot of improvements just by playing a lot in a certain time frame. I think if you grind the game for a month on end, you'll definitely be so much better, just because everything is way more present. After that, everything becomes just a haze and you forget things. So even though people like RC, Blinky, Consus have so much experience under the belt, somebody who just grinds a lot, somebody like Harrier, can become very, very good at the game very, very quickly, just because it's all very, very newly fresh. Everything is on his mind. He thinks about locations. I mean, as we saw in the Anu versus Flyme game, if you haven't had a location in the recent time in Kenya that looks like this, you will not get that location. It's just not possible. So you always have to play a lot to keep your mind fresh for these types of occasions. Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
That's true, and I am just getting word that we're not going to get the post-match interview here in this one, so I'm going to let us round off the day instead. Keep in mind still, there is more GeoGuessr to be played later today. In just under 4 hours, we'll see the second bracket of games coming up, and here you can see the matches that will be taking place. Sachu versus Debra, Orlando versus Pan to start things off, looking to be a very, very exciting day of GeoGuessr action. But with that said, we're going to round off this show. Remember that the World Cup has been announced, that you can get your tickets over at geoguessr.com/World Cup, and that you, by subscribing to Twitch here, will be helping increase the prize pool. All the money from the Twitch subscriptions contribute directly to the prize pool, so make sure to support, and let's get that prize pool sky high. Any final words from you, Siggy, before we round off the day?
So, it was an amazing day. Hope everyone had fun watching. And yeah, see you guys whenever. And hope you have fun in the other bracket.
Hope we have fun in the other bracket indeed. It was a hype day. Yet another day of great GeoGuessr to be played. And more games, as I said, to be played later today. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Enjoy your day. Go play some more GeoGuessr. Thanks, GeoGuessr, for letting me become part of your world so quickly, and that I got a chance to see Blinky lift the trophy after that insane grand final. It was an experience I'll never forget. So now, with 2025 right around the corner, I have an idea.
Now, don't get me wrong, I love Sweden. We've already had the World Cup there twice. GeoGuessr 2025 World Cup. Denmark. So to all you GeoGuessr fans out there, let me show you what Copenhagen has to offer. Fancy architecture. Easy to recognize signs. We have historic buildings. Red roads. A royal family. World-class dining. A super cool theme parks. We got the best beer in the world. Presumably. So, when you're done exploring the city, when you've tasted all the varieties of smørrebrød and you've found out the true meaning of hygge, we'll meet here.
Where Winston Churchill laid the foundation of what would become the European Union.
Long live the cause of freedom.
Where big-time artists like Rolling Stones, Louis Armstrong, and the Beatles have performed.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I welcome you to Copenhagen and the KB Hall, the venue of the 2025 GeoGuessr World Cup Finals. Oh, and there will be a bar.